Nasty on a Wednesday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. 201, your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Cardinals, Marlins, all tied, top of the ninth. It's 3-3 right now. This would be the third consecutive extra innings game if it does go to extra innings. Hopefully the Cardinals can get a little ninth inning rally going on right now and take a lead, and then maybe we'll see Ryan Helsley. But for now, it's 3-3 in the top of the ninth. Didn't go well last night for the Cardinals. Despite scoring 8 runs, they lose 9-8. And as Jamie Rivers texted everybody following the game, texted us in the chain, Lance Lynn is, quote, a problem.
It's a problem now at this point. It's official. Like, not only does he have the bad inning, like, it's so bad it costs you games. His start yesterday was not good enough. It just wasn't. And you needed a big start out of Lance Lynn. You had already gone to the bullpen the game before. We talked about it during the show yesterday that, you know, the over-under you set at, 5 innings, right? Mm-hmm. I was like, he's got to go over.
Yeah,
he's got barely did 5 1/3, right? Yeah. 6 runs, 5 earned.
5 1/3, 10 hits, 5 earned runs, no walks, 5 Ks.
Guys, come on. How many runs did the Cardinals score yesterday?
8.
Anthony, I don't know where you're from, where I'm from, Carey. 8 runs should probably win a game for you.
Yeah. You hang a snowman on the board.
Oh,
and you
should
lost.
Be good.
They got a snowman +1. That's why they lost.
Yeah.
The Marlins got a snowman +1. That's why the Cardinals lost.
But what do you do? You're the Cardinals right now. Steven Matz apparently has had a little bit of a regression in his rehab. You got Lance Lynn that, I mean, he's given up 12 runs in the last 13 innings.
Is that good?
No, it's not, Gary. It really isn't. What do you do?
Well, you get to the trade deadline, and then you decide whether you need
Anthony,
1 or 2
deadline?
starters. 6 weeks.
Yeah, 6 weeks is an eternity in baseball.
Did you hear Mo? Mo said everybody's trying to figure out when the St. Louis Cardinals are going to make a deal.
They're waiting on the Cardinals? That's the ball
6 weeks. That's what he said.
First,
Mo thinks the Cardinals are the bar.
No, what I'm saying is Mo indicated that no move is going to be made until the deadline for the Cardinals.
That thought process drives me crazy because between now and then, you could fall right out of the running. You could. And you'd be like, well, it wasn't the right time.
What? Fellas, I hate to be that guy. Yeah, you know, Marshy and I were... Marshy, I'm so proud of him. You know, sometimes, you know, when you have a younger brother and they do something that you look at him and you say, you know, wow, I'm proud of you. We were walking out of the office earlier and he took a glance at the TV and he said, yeah. I said, oh, yeah, right? I said, oh, he said, you know what? I get it. I get it. Watching this team... It can cause health issues. It is live or die every game. It's like, are they gonna do it? Yeah, they are. No, they aren't. They're gonna go to extras against the worst team in the National League 2 times, maybe a third day. Probably, unless the Marlins figure something out in the bottom of the ninth, or the Cardinals miraculously maybe Burley hit something here. I don't know. But you win in extras in 12 a couple of days ago. Sets you up. Not well for the next day, right? Relievers, got to burn those guys when you pitch 12 innings, when you play 12 innings. Lance Lynn on the bump, need him. What'd you say? I don't know if we can trust him.
Can't.
Go extras there. You're in a battle with the basement dweller, and you want me to believe? This is what you all are asking of me?
No.
You are. You asked this of me the last 2 days.
I don't think we asked you to believe.
I said you did. You said, Carey, why are you so harsh? Why are you so grumpy? Do you not watch the games? That's why I'm grumpy.
Jamie, all I remember is him putting on the glasses.
Because I felt peer pressured by you
Nobody
two
even
to
made
actually
him do it.
believe.
No.
You all said he hadn't worn the glasses. You got to believe.
He's really mad
that's
at
what's
himself.
causing this team to lose is not enough belief from you, Carey. So I put on the damn glasses. They go extras, they lose. They show up to the ballpark today, early start time, ready to roll. Oh, guess what? Your starter's not gonna pitch. Who the hell? Back tightness.
Hey, don't you pick on Gibby.
I'm not. This is not against
I'll let you
Gibson.
pick on a lot of people, but
I'm
he's not
picking
one of them.
on Gibby. This is not his fault, but it's just the Cardinal. It is the Cardinal way.
Oh, wow.
It's the Cardinal way.
Wow.
That's how I feel. This last few years has become the Cardinal way. Man. Man. It's so damn frustrating. And you're talking to a lifer. Like, I love this team, these guys. But I am sick of it. I'm watching this every night like, and it's a carryover from last year where I was like, I got a job to do, Jamie.
Yeah.
I have to watch this.
I know.
You know
right there
how
with you, buddy.
frustrating that is?
It is very.
And you all are asking me, why don't you believe? The Marlins are why I don't believe.
You know what?
The White Sox are why I do not believe. The Colorado Rockies are why I don't believe. You can add the New York Mets. They're playing well. Now, that's why I don't believe. That's why.
Yeah.
All right. I'm done.
Anthony,
I'm done.
I think what...
I'm sorry. I needed that.
That was awesome.
I think the problem
I
here...
needed that. Whew.
Honestly, I think the problem overall, when it comes to Carey's situation, he just doesn't believe enough.
Yeah.
He kind of all goes back to that, doesn't it? Yeah.
You believe that they're going to win? I believe that we will win. I believe that we will win. I believe that we will win. Do you?
Carey,
I don't believe anything, to be
okay.
honest.
they win today, and they win the series.
It's 9 out of the last 11.
Right?
It's the bottom of the ninth, right?
Yeah.
Where you at on that?
I think
They win a series.
I think I'm at the place where if you go extra innings or lose 2 out of 3 to the Miami Marlins, I'm right the hell where I was before the series started. Nowhere. Lost.
What if they win?
Wandering
Carey,
around,
Can
wandering
you
down
be swayed?
Olive.
What if they win?
No.
Come on,
If they
Carey.
win, that'll be 3 games. They went to extra innings against the damn Miami Marlins.
But did they
know.
win the series?
Andy does bring up an interesting point in the snake pit.
What did he say?
He said CD needs more patience.
I'm fresh out of patience.
I'm just, a little more patience to see what this club's going to do.
The next series will probably give us an idea, huh?
Sure.
All
It's a
right.
big series.
Yeah. You know what they always say?
As is this one.
You'll know what you are by 4th of July.
I thought it was no. It's Flag Day, which was June 14th.
We celebrate the flag on 4th of July.
is Flag Day, too.
Yeah, fireworks.
Love how you did
Yeah.
Burgers, hot dogs.
Yeah.
All right.
What's more important, the process or the result?
I think that a good process will lead you. Oh boy. Yeah, we got
This is
an error going on here.
a heart.
Is that Crawdaddy?
No, wasn't that for me? Because Nolan Arenado is out of the
moving
game.
pretty fast.
But we also may have a situation here, though. I don't know if CB Buckner. We don't have the sound on.
It's a foul ball,
Oh,
probably.
they're saying foul ball. Okay. No harm, no foul.
No, it was foul.
It was.
There you go. That's foul ball. Yeah.
All right.
See, this is why you have to exercise patience,
That's why you
gentlemen.
believe, Carey.
Sometimes you think that the result is going to be bad, but the process led to an okay result. Yeah.
Marshy, how do you feel?
You asked about process, though. In all seriousness, I think if you are process oriented, that will lead you to more consistency when it comes to results. If you're lucky sometimes, you're going to be lucky other times, right? So if you just hone in on the results, not knowing what got you there, I don't think, I realize that we weigh everything by the results. But if you have the right process, consistency will eventually show up, right?
Yep.
So for me, if I'm going to choose one, I'll choose process because I think the two things will go hand in hand. But how we measure anything is by results.
Carey, you asked how I feel.
Yeah, how do you feel?
I felt great watching that Stanley Cup Final game last night. It was a great game.
Great game.
The Cardinals game kind of was whatever, but the Stanley Cup game was awesome last night. Very, very entertaining. That's how I feel about.
How do you
this
feel
team.
about Cardinal baseball right now?
Yeah. Well, I've tried
You
to
cried?
be positive. No, I didn't cry.
might.
I thought you said cried too.
Cried.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
No, there's no crying in baseball.
No crying in baseball.
Are you crying?
I think I've tried to be somewhat positive these past few days, and then last night happens, and it's just anytime I try to think anything good of this team, they spit in my face. Right in my face, Anthony.
Well, hey, Marsh, Carey, if I may, this is what average teams do. I think I need to remind everybody of that each and every week. This is what average teams do. They frustrate, they elevate,
Leave
they
you high
play
and dry.
mediocre baseball. Or football, or hockey, or basketball. Teams that are right around 500, or in this case, right at 500, at least as we sit right here, this is what they do. They're an average team. Some good, some bad, mostly average. So, what Jamie said halfway through Scary's rant is that Carey's mad at himself.
He's thoroughly disgusted with himself.
And Marsh is disgusted with himself.
Yeah.
See,
With
Jamie and I,
What?
we take the big picture approach to life. We don't get too high or too low. We just kind of take things as it is. And we understand that this is an average team.
Yeah.
You might see some good, you might see some bad. But again, we'll find out what they are by Flag Day on July 4th.
July 4th.
Yeah. It's a fast lane on 101 ESPN. I cleared that up, Jamie?
You couldn't have said it any better.
Thank you. What legacy does the Say Hey kid, Willie Mays, leave in baseball? I think it's bigger than what we ever talk about when it comes to Willie Mays, who passed away last night at the age of 93. We'll talk about Mays next on 101 ESPN. The Missouri Athletic Club, great spot during the summer, whether it's the West Clubhouse when the pool is open for the families, or it's the downtown location where you have an opportunity to take in a Cardinals game, go to the Jack Buck Grill maybe before or after, take the shuttle over to Busch Stadium, picks you right back up, puts you right back at the Missouri Athletic Club. Great spot. Love it for, again, any sort of Cardinals games or maybe a big-time activity or an event like the College Basketball Writers Association Awards. They got events going on all the time in both clubs, both locations. Perfect spot in both spots. That's Miami AC, Missouri Athletic Club.
Mays gave this crowd of 52,751 an unforgettable sight.
So we lost Willie Mays. The baseball world lost Willie Mays last night at the age of 93. 93, excuse me. I was going to say the Marlins just broke a 3-3 tie, unfortunately, and they won 4-3 today against the Cardinals, in which Alec Burleson.
Cardinals could have used Willie Mays in right field.
Yeah, certainly. Alec Burleson didn't get the single, didn't pick it up cleanly out in right field, and then when he went to throw it, I don't know if you've ever seen a little kid try to throw a ball where he loses the grip on the ball and it goes behind him.
And then can't find it.
And then he can't find it. Then he winds up kicking it. That's what Alec Burleson did, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Cardinals lose 2 of 3 to the Marlins.
I honestly blame Carey
I do
for
too.
that, because the way he started this show, you could tell there was no belief at all.
Well,
and that went right to Alec Burleson.
let's go back, though.
Shame.
Carey put on those glasses yesterday. Cardinals now 0-2 since he put on those glasses.
We did establish that the glasses are not good for this ball club.
No, they're not. They're not.
Tell you what.
So Carey is going to put those away, and we appreciate that. And maybe the Cardinals can get back into their winning
Don't
ways.
you break those.
Yeah.
Those were hard to find and very expensive, okay?
I do apologize. I take good care of them.
Plus, how is Anthony going to look all sharp?
Yeah.
How's Anthony going to fulfill his Halloween costume?
You know,
De Niro in Casino.
He's got to do something different, because those things, they're behind me for now.
And so are the Cardinals.
Yeah, they're behind. Well, they're probably behind everybody at this
All
point.
right. So we will kind of get into the Cardinals game here in a second. But let's talk about Willie Mays. Willie Mays, I don't know for you guys. So obviously we're all too young to have watched Willie Mays play. But you didn't have to watch him play to understand what his legacy was in Major League Baseball. Babe Ruth, Cy Young, Hank Aaron, Ty Cobb, Willie Mays. Like, Willie Mays deserves to be in the conversation of best ever.
Oh, yeah.
And there's Willie Mays is one of the only players in sports where I feel as though everything that is talked about him is justified, and yet he still feels underrated. Like, his career still feels underrated to me.
I was going to say, he doesn't feel that way, because anytime anybody asked Willie Mays about how good he was and things, he always deflected.
No question. I'm talking about, like, the national viewpoint of Willie Mays is very high praise, as well as it should be. But yet, Willie Mays to me still feels like underrated. His career feels underrated. We're talking about somebody that's got statistically, offensively, numbers that are almost identical to Henry Aaron. Almost identical in certain categories, like OPS plus, slugging, batting average. I think on base. They're all almost identical to Henry Aaron. But you know, somebody that defensively was as good as advertised, and now they're getting into some of the other metrics and looking back at some of the older players that we didn't have to measure some of their statistics, some of their impact on the game.
Yeah.
And Willie Mays defensively is one of the best ever. Base running, incredible. You watch some of the other guys, like the guys that have high steal totals throughout their career, they kind of slumped off at 30, definitely by 35. Willie Mays was still an outstanding defender late in his 30s, still an outstanding base runner late into his 30s. The defensive play for a lot of center fielders, even guys like Ken Griffey, they get to 30, 31, slumped off. Not Willie Mays. So his legacy, on top of also being somebody that everybody wanted, like if you watch him play, you're like, wow, that dude can play in any era.
Hey, Anthony, how about the fact that he went and served 2 years in the military and came back?
After he won Rookie of the Year.
That's what I'm saying. He ended up with, 680-some home runs? And Randy was talking about it this morning on the opening drive. And if anybody knows, and Randy and Dan were both talking about, if anybody understands baseball or, that era or ballparks, it's those two guys. And they were talking about, because Willie Mays played at Candlestick Park, it was harder for him to hit as many home runs as other guys.
Right.
And then you add in the 2 years that he went off to serve the military. Randy said approximately throughout the course of his career, probably could have had close to 200 more home runs. Imagine those numbers. Like, it's incredible to even just wrap your brain around that. Even if that's inflated a little bit, although I do trust Randy and Dan's breakdown on this.
Oh, no, the ballpark, huge.
Yeah.
And like you said, 2 years for the Korean War.
Yeah.
Early on in his career, so he won Rookie of the Year, and I believe the very next year he missed 2 years because he served in the military
Probably
for the Korean War.
Pretty big years.
I would
as
think
a
so.
young man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the thing that I think about, Willie Mays and his legacy is, you got to think. I think back to Jackie Robinson breaking the color barrier, and then all the players that came after him. The Larry Dobies, the Satchel Pages, Roy Campanella, and Willie Mays is on that list. He's 5 years after Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier, and the expectation of black players, you had to, you wanted to be great. You had to be great because the expectation from other people were these guys can't play as well, and to have those names go down as some of the best players to ever play the game. I think that just it sticks out in my mind, and I always, when I think about Willie Mays, I automatically think about Barry Bonds, because just the relationship, he was his godfather, the relationship that those two have, and to be two of the best players in that organization to have ever played the game, it just speaks volumes to how great he was, how much he did. And I was listening to a story earlier on the way coming in. Tim Kirkshin had interviewed Willie Mays, and he's talking about that catch that he made in the World Series and how people loved it. I was listening to T-Mac talking about it and how people loved that catch so much, and Willie Mays was like, that's probably not one of my 10 best catches I've ever had. Like,
He's always said
it's
that.
cool, but like, it's not even one of the 10 best catches I've ever had. Like, as you talked about, to be as good as he was offensively and defensively, like, that's rare, and it takes a special player, and he was that. And condolences to his family, because and all the people that were able to watch him play. I was not. I've only seen videos. I'm sure none of us were able to see it, but to watch the videos and see how great he was, it's just a spectacular thing.
What's amazing to me too is diving into it earlier today because of like you said, I wasn't watching Willie Mays play baseball back in the day. Now, so you catch up, you hear about the rumors, you hear the stories, the legend, all that. The one thing I noticed the most out of things that I read had nothing to do with baseball. People describing just how much of a great individual Willie Mays was, part of, that next wave of players breaking the color barrier. He always had respect for the game of baseball, always treated his teammates the right way, was a great ambassador for baseball, and never talked much about some of the difficulties he had breaking the color barrier, playing in certain areas in the United States at that time. Never talks about that, talked about how his teammates were great, talked about the successes of the group. It's like, this guy was an unbelievable ambassador for the game of baseball, and he was also arguably one of the best players ever.
Absolutely. And you talk about, like, I see old videos of Jim Brown or, like Hully. You watch the videos in the 90s or when Jim Brown played, and you're like, yeah, he could play
in any era.
In any era. In any era. And you don't feel that way about every player.
No.
Like, sometimes you watch old video, you're like, that guy would have got killed in today's game.
You wouldn't be doing that now.
No, exactly. Like, I won't throw any names out there, but like certain quarterbacks, you're like, that's picked.
Been a problem.
Every time. But Jim Brown, I just use one. There's many in hockey, Gretzky, but Hully. Willie Mays is like that. Like,
they're transcendent.
Yeah.
Like, in any era.
To watch Willie Mays play, the way he moved, the plays that he made, you're like, he would have had success in this era. Now, did he ever face, was he facing 95 plus consistently? No.
Yeah,
did he ever have a slider? He would have adjusted. That's
Correct.
How great he
Thank
was.
you. Right. Yeah, because I hate that argument, because those guys that were so great back then, they would have adjusted to what great is today.
And great today would have had to adjust to him, too.
Correct. 100%.
They would have had to figure out how to get Willie Mays out.
Well, and just think for a second about the position that Willie Mays played. Just think about how he evolved that position, how he created different eras of people trying to emulate what he
Make
did.
those plays.
Yeah. They're all dreaming about being Willie Mays and then like making those catches.
Yep.
Like, there's no way you can't tell me that, Jim Edmonds making some of the catches he made wasn't channeling somebody, maybe not Willie Mays because Jimmy's, around my age, but maybe another player who was emulating Willie Mays, and then Jim Edmonds looked up to that guy, and then it's just continued to work its way to the modern era.
No question. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. So Cardinals fall to the Marlins. We're going to talk to Brad Thompson, our weekly chat with the World Series champ, next on 101 ESPN.
If you are in the market right now to sell your home, I see a lot of places that are about to go on the market. I see a lot of signs in yards. Well, if you're unsure about anything to do with the process, you have to call Gloria Liu with your home sold guaranteed realty. A couple of the reasons why, but one, Gloria has the buyers. Gloria is able to guarantee the sale of your home in writing because Gloria already has the buyers. Thousands of ready buyers in her database that she has accrued over 20 years in the business, and Gloria is able to use that database to drive traffic to your listing and hopefully get your home sold quicker. It definitely maybe gets more offers, multiple offers. She has an incredible way of making sure that your home gets sold. And the number one thing is that she makes sure you price it accordingly so that you can get to the closing table. So please take my advice, pick up the phone, call Gloria Liu today. Tell her that Jamie Rivers sent you in. She loves hearing that. She loves helping out the 101 ESPN listeners. Her number is 314-325-6888. Again, that's 314-325-6888. Or you can visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals fall to the Miami Marlins 4-3. We're going to talk with our guy Brad Thompson coming up next, so stay tuned for that. The Cardinals did drop 2 of 3 against the Marlins, but they'll take on the San Francisco Giants tomorrow, 6:15. The game is at Rickwood Field, and you can watch it on Fox. Last night, the Oilers defeated the Florida Panthers. They now trail the series 3-2. We'll have Game 6 for you on Friday with the pregame starting at 6:30. Now, it's time for some high heat with our guy BT. That's coming your way next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
Time for some high heat with BT on 101 ESPN. Inside and high.
Powered by Scott Lee Heating Company, your preferred Mitsubishi Electric Elite contractor. Visit ScottLeeHeating.com.
There's no excuse for Thompson throwing at the head of right.
It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. We head to the 101 ESPN Celebrity Line. We have our World Series champion, Brad Thompson. Wednesday's chat with our guy, BT. BT, how are you?
I am doing great. I got to be honest, I far more enjoy joining you guys after the Cardinals take 2 of 3. These Wednesdays, our hit days, are right after day games, generally getaway days. And good news the last couple of times, bad news in the ball game today. I don't know if you guys noticed this, by the way. When you're playing the Fighting Skippies, throw the records out the window because it's going to be a knockdown, drag them out, and the Cardinals fell again today to the Marlins.
Yeah, they're 25-49 record and minus 115 run differential, Brad. It really is.
You and your numbers, Anthony.
Well, no, I'm just hold on. It's misleading. You know, the 25-49 record, very misleading, Brad.
Yeah, when you really dig into the further numbers, you could tell that this was going to be a way tougher bet. Look, that sucks. There's no way around it. And the thing is, honestly, as you were watching, I know you guys were watching early on in this ball game, Kyle Gibson is a late scratch. Matthew Liberatore had to step in, and he really did step up. 3 2/3 from Libby. He pitched 2/3 of an inning yesterday. So for him to be able to do that ends up saving you, and we'll talk a little bit more maybe about what has to happen going forward because you're in a weird spot and a bad spot with your bullpen. But he gives up home runs to the first 2 batters, and you're like, okay, well, this is going to be which position player do you want to see pitch? Like, it's going to be one of those days. And he does a great job. He settles things down. Roycroft steps up. Leahy, I thought, did a really nice job. Like, the Cardinals' bullpen really kept him in it, just unfortunately couldn't get any of those big hits against a spot starter in Yanni Chirinos in the bullpen for the Marlins.
BT, I'm feeling a little down. It's been an up and down kind of roller coaster ride for me watching this team. I would prefer, and I would love if you could provide me with some optimism.
Okay, right now?
Yeah, today, right now would be good. No time better than the present.
Help them out.
I could do that. Good call. There's just so many ways to go, Carey. That's the thing. I didn't know which direction you wanted. No, here is, in all seriousness right now, I'm incredibly optimistic the way that this team has pitched. Like, overall, you look at the numbers, especially here in the last month, the starting rotation has been really good. The bullpen, although worked a lot, has been outstanding. And then all of a sudden, offensively in the last month, you're not in the lower end of the pack. You're more of a top 10 offense. You're hitting more home runs. You're driving the baseball more. And that's still without a ton from Goldie and Arenado, who we've seen better things. By the way, fingers crossed that everything checks out with Arenado, who had to leave the game. He was hitting that right elbow. It was kind of a double whammy. He caught him in the right elbow and then caught him in the body. So I'm sure he's not feeling great right now as the Cardinals head to Rickwood. But the beauty of it is, like, you're figuring out ways to win games. Your pitching has been steady. Your young guys offensively have taken big strides. and you still have the fourth best record in baseball since May 12th. Like, those are good things. So the idea, though, Carey, and you're right, the roller coaster, like, it's hard to see how well overall they've been playing because every day you're grabbing your chair and just trying to hold on throughout the ball game. And imagine, like, that's how you feel watching at home. We feel that way oftentimes doing the game. Imagine playing in these games and managing these games and setting up pitching for all of these games. Like, it has been a wild ride here, and we are not even halfway through this thing.
Brad Thompson joining us right now following the Cardinals' loss to the Marlins. BT, you bring up something interesting. I mean, you look at the starting pitching. 3 of the 5 guys have pitched very well. The 5th starter, you're making do because of the Steven Matz situation. Lance Lynn, over his last 4 starts, has not been great. So those are easy things to circle. The bullpen has been very good despite some of the issues, down in Miami the last couple of nights. So if you were to pinpoint one thing, would it still be the offense that is the issue? The offense has kept them from gaining any sort of momentum that you could look and say, they're going to be 4 or 5 games above 500 in no time.
Yeah, absolutely. I still think that is the thing. I believe that from when you look at where they are from a pitching standpoint, I believe it's better than most expected it to be. Offensively, I think it's worse than pretty much everybody expected it to be. Again, top to bottom, whole season. So that's where you're going to gain your ground. And games like today are a perfect example. We've talked about this a lot in the last couple of weeks. So how do you protect your bullpen? Yeah, it's starters giving you more innings. It's also having your offense score a bunch of runs and blow the doors off of people. It's easier to say than it is to do. But a game like today where you don't have your starter, you're going bullpen, you need to be able to muster more than 3 runs against a spot starter just called up from AAA. And I get it that Chirinos has been in the big leagues before. It was his 39th big league start. But he wasn't overpowering. Like, I think that's where it comes down to, is figuring out ways to create more offense, which they have. Again, in fairness, in the last month, they have absolutely done that. But that is, in my eyes, what is creating, to answer your question, that separation, right? Where does it come from? Where do you really gain that ground? Even though they've gained plenty of ground in the Central, how do you catch up to the Brewers? It's your offense hits you back into these things.
BT, we got the report that Steven Matz had an injury setback with his back. Kyle Gibson was scratched today with back stiffness or soreness. Any update on those 2 guys? And if those 2 guys aren't able to go, any concern about this rotation?
Well, definitely concerned with the 5th spot in Matz, right? And as far as I know with Matz, I don't have any further things. You can't count on him anytime soon if he's going for more evaluation, right? So that spot is still totally up in the air. With Kyle Gibson, it's less of a concern. It's tightness. He was on the bereavement list. He was doing some traveling for those purposes, and I'm guessing that was the issue, just a little bit tight. So that one doesn't worry me. I am interested to see if it's something that loosens up quickly, even though they're doing some more traveling. Does he get the nod tomorrow at Rickwood instead of maybe Andre Palante? But yeah, the 5th spot is still a question mark, Carey, because you don't have anybody else in the organization that's beating down the door to take that spot. Like, that's a real issue when you don't have somebody waiting in the wings. I mean, you'd love to be able to hand it over to Thompson or, whoever, but it would be nice to have even more depth in that spot. So if they get news back on Matz where, hey, it's going to be a lot longer for him, I feel like that kind of forces your hand. But here's the problem. When I say force your hand, I mean go outside the organization and make a deal. Like, what are you willing to give up for a 5th starter? Because if you're shopping this early before the trade deadline, they're going to want more for something. And are you willing to give that up? Or would you rather just make a run at it organizationally and use Palante or use Liberatore and use Thompson and just kind of flip those 3 spots around? Like, that's the hard part the organization is going to find themselves in.
BT, you talked about the Cardinals going to Rickwood tomorrow and playing the San Francisco Giants. We heard about the passing of Willie Mays yesterday. What can you tell us about his legacy as a baseball player and as a man?
Well, I mean, yeah, you guys know the career of Willie Mays so well, but this is a guy, and we had Willie McGee on the broadcast today. He was talking about, his memories of Willie Mays and being around him and saying, it's cliche, but a better person than he was a player, and that's a very difficult thing to do when you have a player like him. So it is you'll have lasting memories of the catch in the World Series and big home runs, but it really is the impact in the game of baseball, of starting a 23-year career, playing for the Birmingham Black Barons there at Rickwood Field, and then going through just a legendary Hall of Fame career. One of the best to ever do it, arguably the best baseball player ever, but 93 years on this earth is a great run, but his legacy is going to last for absolutely ever.
BT, are you on the call tomorrow night?
No, I am not. That is, I believe that to be a Fox.
Oh, that's a Fox game. That's right. That's right. I was going to ask you.
So I have got, if you guys know airports well, I've got 6 hours to burn at Miami International Airport.
Oh, I don't know if I've ever been to Miami.
I'm hoping to make this flight tonight.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you'll be fine.
6 hours.
6 hours, yeah.
I got to get it. Yeah, it's a 9:30 flight, guys. I might need to buy my way into one of those clubs,
Yeah.
You know what?
There.
I'm sure they've got a bar somewhere in that airport. You'll be fine, BT.
Do you think so?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'll peek around. Maybe they got a little library, a little nook I can do some reading.
Oh, yeah. No, that's typically you. But, in case you wind up going to, a bar at some point, I'm sure you'll be able to find one. You ever been to the Charlotte airport, BT?
Yeah, it's a good airport.
They've got a great whiskey bar there.
Do they?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Was that a layover for you and your ESPN going up to Bristol?
That was one of the consistent connections. Yeah, was believe it or not, Charlotte and then up to Connecticut. So yeah, that was I frequent that place quite a bit in my time.
When they start knowing your name at an airport bar, that's when you know you're a frequent traveler.
You're doing pretty well in life.
That's when you know things are good. Yep. All right, BT. Well, we'll let you go. Thanks for joining us, despite the fact that the Cardinals lost to that juggernaut of a Marlins team.
It happens. What are you going to do? I'll text you guys from my reading nook at the
Please do. Yeah, thank you, man. Yeah, we're always looking for good reading nooks, especially in airports.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. All right. I'll see you, fellas.
See you, man. Thank you.
Bye.
That's Brad Thompson, World Series champion here in the Fast Line on 101 at ESPN. The Cardinals fall 4-3 to the Marlins. They dropped 2 of 3, both games after Carey put on the red sunglasses. So we'll be talking about Carey and his issues. Yeah, absolutely, as they relate to the Cardinals. We do have what's trending next, though, on 101 ESPN.
If you're looking to save money right now on your car or your home insurance, or maybe you have questions about your insurance policies, that was me. Before I met Tracy Bibb, I really didn't know what my policies had, the coverage, or even all I cared about was the rate. And I found out quickly that that's not the way to do it. I didn't have proper coverage in certain areas, and Tracy Bibb found that right away. And that's when I switched to Allstate and the Bibb agency. And I no longer have to call a 1-800 number and talk to a complete stranger every time. No, I call Tracy Bibb and the Bibb agency, talk to their representatives, and they continuously evaluate my policies, making sure that I'm getting the best coverage with the best rate, and they just answer all the questions that you need. And if you have any problems, they walk you through stressful situations, and that's what it's like to have somebody that cares about you and cares about your family. So please call Tracy and the Bibb agency today for a free non-committal quote. That number's 314-328-4260. Again, that's 314-328-4260. It's no fib. You're in good hands with Tracy Bibb.
It's time to find out what's going on in the sports world with What's Trending Now. Brought to you by Goodwill. Donate a car and get tickets to the St. Louis Cardinals.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter, Jamie Rivers, and Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Gentlemen, the Edmonton Oilers have extended the series, and we will get to that here shortly. However, there's another game going on last night that I was watching, and it was the Colorado Rockies and the Los Angeles Dodgers. And let me give you the situation going on. The Dodgers were down bad. Jason Hayward hits a grand slam. It's a close game. Runners on the bases. Teoscar Hernandez at the plate. 2-2 count. Check swing. It looked like he may have struck out. And that's what the Rockies thought. Next pitch, deposits it into the bullpen. Yeah. And the Dodgers win. But the Rockies were very upset. And so I wanted to bring up, one, just the situation itself, and two, with two former athletes. When a play like that happens, yeah, it was a bang-bang call for sure. I thought he was out. But when you think a play should go the way that you want it to go, and you saw some frustration from some of the Rockies players, their manager, I believe, got ejected from the game. How do you go about that as a player, and what kind of advice would you give to younger players on how to handle situations like that?
Short-term memory. Like, I think that's the best way in sports. It's never, like, I refuse to believe, like, I'm not a person that believes one game is won or lost on one play. Like, oh, they didn't call the pass interference and now they're going to score, or, oh, they didn't call it a strike and the guy hits a home. I mean, you still have another play, right? So play that play. If you're so focused on the call that didn't happen or that should have happened, and you're so dialed into, oh, you're mad and pissed off, the other team is still playing. And so you have to reset yourself quickly and be ready to play so that you don't lose. As long as you got a chance to play another play, you keep playing. But even with that, even if that's the final play and you lose, I don't think that one play caused the loss. You know what I mean? There were other plays in the first quarter, in the fifth inning, in the second period, whatever the sport is, that you could have done better that gave you a chance to win that game. So, it comes down to you just got to dial back in and not worry about it.
No, you lose your mind and berate the ump. No, to Carey's point, yeah, when you lose a game of any kind, there are hundreds of things that happen in a game that either help you win or make you lose. Mm-hmm. And now the umpire or the referee making a bad call, sometimes that's like throwing gas on the fire because it can hold a big piece of what your success is or isn't in that game. But ultimately, you're not going to get it changed. So I used to say this to my kids I coach all the time, is all the energy that you're going to put out there, exude, trying to argue and prove your point to someone who's already made their mind up. The outcome has already happened that you cannot change. Yep. So it's literally like going bang your face off the wall and tell me which breaks first. It's going to be your face. No question. So why would you waste your time? You can express your discontent in a way and tell them that you think they're wrong. And when they see the video later, they're going to know they're wrong. But you got to move on. Let's go back. 2019 Blues, the hand pass.
Right.
That play directly affected the outcome of the game. But you go back in that game, there are other situations where the Blues could have scored goals, could have capitalized on opportunities, maybe could have made a save earlier in the game. And then ultimately you found yourself in overtime, susceptible to a horrific call by officials. But the Blues did it the right way. Craig Berube's leadership really rose to the top at that point, and that's why they end up winning that series.
Who is Jake Cave? Am I saying it? Yeah, in right
Jake
field. As Teoscar Hernandez.
Great guy.
No, Jake Cave.
Cave.
Yeah, Cave.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Cave. Like
not John Kelly.
Like caveman.
No.
Yes.
Oh, well, that's not John.
Jake Cave was mother fastlaning the first base umpire as the ball is in flight.
Yeah.
As Teoscar Hernandez hit that home run, you can see Jake Cave turn around as the ball is in the air and start mother fastlaning the first base umpire.
Yeah, that's tough. But when you're passionate like Jake Cave is, then you're going to let the umpire hear about it. Jamie Rivers style.
Yeah. JK also.
Yeah, JK probably would have mother fast lane.
From the 314 says, my buddy Jamie says go after the mascot.
Well,
typically that's the way
don't do that. It might
Jamie
be a child
instructs.
or a woman in the mascot.
Yes.
You don't know. Fortunately for Jamie, it was a full-grown man.
Mistakes. Yeah. Yes, he had a beard. Thank God.
Hershey Bears heads off to the corner.
So this game was in Colorado, so I don't know if Colorado's team would have went after Dinger. That's their mascot. Yeah. Dinger, the dinosaur.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which
I don't know if that would. Yeah, I don't know if that would make sense.
Why
Dinger?
Why do the Rockies? I understand the name, but why do the Rockies have a dinosaur?
I don't get that.
Well, we talked about this before. Denver, the last dinosaur.
Oh, wow.
Colorado.
Okay.
Denver,
That's
Colorado.
the connection? Wow. That's terrible.
They were
I didn't know that. I've never seen that before.
Well, Denver, the last dinosaur.
Dinosaurs were found all over
and so
North America.
You know that they weren't centrally located in Denver, Colorado?
They were everywhere.
There are mountains.
They were.
Yeah.
Do you know that they weren't?
You know that they were.
You don't know that they weren't. So,
Like, what kind of dinosaur is Dinger?
I think he's a triceratops.
Nice.
I don't know where the triceratops typically
Where they roam?
Yeah.
Those are those.
I have a feeling they'd have a tough time.
Herbivores or carnivores?
Mountainous.
I think they're herbivores.
They were definitely herbivores.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think is more
freshwater
dangerous? Anthony, you could probably answer this question. Giant locust or dinosaurs roaming modern day Earth?
Well, are we talking about locusts that were created in a lab by Dr. Henry Wu?
Yeah.
Because if that was the case, these locusts can really, to us humans, it's worse.
Yeah.
Because what these locusts do is they eat the crops, and then we have no food.
They take your food source.
Yeah. They play the long game.
Yeah.
They do.
That documentary that we're talking about, they spent a lot of time talking about those giant locusts. and not enough time
on
about the dinosaurs.
Allosaurus. Yeah, the Spinosaurus.
Yeah.
Some of the dinosaurs were
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
fine. They weren't a risk to anybody.
Well, and then some were a true risk to everyone.
Well, true enough, Carey.
And
but
so I'm going to have to
gotta
go with
take
dinosaurs
risks.
because I probably could stay around a little longer with locusts. You know, it's going to take a little more time.
Yeah.
If you run into a dinosaur,
Yeah, you're
that
probably
is-
screwed.
Yeah,
Well, it
Jamie,
depends
I-
on what type of dinosaur we're talking about.
I'm
Exactly.
talking about
Well-
carnivorous dinosaurs.
It's one
The
of
ones
those
that are-
herbivores that likes to get scratched behind the head, you know?
Are those real? You
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure
They
some
love
of them are
personal
real.
attention. They
I
like
think all
energy.
you really have to do if a dinosaur approaches you is you just put your hand up
Yeah.
and you just say no.
I did see another documentary where somebody did that, and the
Yeah.
hand
It
just
might have been the same
bit
one.
right off.
Right, yeah.
What
Right
you
through
do,
it. Yeah.
Andrew, is you make yourself look bigger to scare them.
Because the bigger you are in comparison to a dinosaur.
Yeah,
Sure.
because they
Sure.
see things differently. And so when you just puff up and act like you're big, even though they're like massive,
Yeah.
they tend to be afraid
You know,
at
I
that point.
saw a documentary where one had short arms and he didn't care if you were big or small.
Yeah.
He just ate everything. He's running through.
Those ones there, you want to get right in tight. You get in
because
tight.
they can't get to you.
His arms can't reach you.
Yeah.
It's like Anthony when we get the bill at the restaurant. Arms can't reach you.
Oh, you got T-Rex arms there? Hey, you gotta go to the bathroom again, dude? I'll be back. Yeah. Triceratops, by the way, typically found not in Denver. So,
Allegedly.
He is now.
There you go.
yeah, no. Sorry about that. Late Cretaceous period, sure. Denver, Colorado, no.
So
All right.
you say.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Do we now have a series in the Stanley Cup Final? Ooh,
Spicy.
Tight cheeks for the old Panthers. You know, Carey said something the other day following the Game 4 blowouts, and he said, I don't like that this even happened, right? Now, basketball didn't matter. Hockey, not so much. We'll get into the Panthers-Oilers series next on 101 ESPN.
laid out again toward the empty net. This one's on target, and it's swept away by Tkachuk at the last moment. But McDavid scores. Connor McDavid with 17.3 to go.
All right, that was the sound from last night's game as the Oilers have forced a Game 6. They have dragged the series back to Alberta. Or not Alberta, excuse me.
No, you had it.
Yeah, Alberta.
Yeah,
yep.
good. Stick
Edmonton.
with it.
Edmonton, Alberta.
Yeah.
See, in Canada, Jamie, there are these
Provinces?
Provinces.
Carey would have liked to see him struggle a little longer.
I don't know, there's 7 provinces. Right?
7. Yeah.
11.
It's
How many?
5?
It's 12.
12 provinces.
Territories.
I don't count the one. You know which one. I don't want to say it. I just don't count
What's your
it.
problem with the people of Prince Edward Island?
Well, you know, a little more effort out of them, I think, would be beneficial. Yeah. So they dragged it back to Alberta. Panthers, Oilers, Friday night will be Game 6. Are the Panthers really in trouble, Jamie, or is this just kind of a 2-game blip here, and the series will still go Florida's way because they're set up? They're set up to be a playoff team. They're good. Even in a loss last night, they still played well.
Yeah, so here's what's happened. Edmonton blew the doors off them 8-1 in Edmonton. That was supposed to be a throwaway game for the Panthers. And again, closing out the series is one of the hardest things. And you'd think that it was hard in Edmonton. Fast forward, let's go back to the Blues, Game 6, where they were supposed to win it. Hundreds of thousands of people. We had Ryan O'Reilly talk about how his buddies are flying in and driving down and doing all this stuff. So that was what's going on yesterday in South Florida. Is all of the people who were in Edmonton flew all the way back to Florida. Now they need hotels or houses like buddies and this and tickets. And what do we do? How are we going to? And it's taboo to do it, but you have to organize the aftermath. I remember talking to Steve Chapman and Chris Zimmerman following the Cup, and they said, like, the biggest thing we hated was we had to plan everything before we even won the Cup. And that starts to get to some people. So all of that is a long-winded beginning to my answer, is they were outplayed in Edmonton, and then they were outplayed for the first half of yesterday's game. And then it's almost like Matthew Tkachuk said, I'm done with this, and put the team on his back. The second half of that game, Edmonton was almost non-existent. Mm-hmm. Almost non-existent. At one point, I think it was like 20 minutes, maybe a little bit longer, where Edmonton only had 6 shots on net. So they go from absolutely dismantling the Panthers to where it looks like they're running an all-star team out there to where they're barely getting to touch the puck or even any shots on net. So I think this thing, even though the score ended up in favor of the Oilers, I think this series is swayed back to the Panthers. And the defining moment was at the end of the game. Not Connor McDavid scoring the empty netter. It's the visual of Matthew Tkachuk diving at the effort, diving and swinging his stick and stopping that puck from going across the goal line, telling his team, we're not done. We're not giving up until I say we're done. Mm-hmm. I know it's kind of dramatic, but that's what it is. As a player, you look at that and you're like, oh my God, he just made that play. Yeah. Now, McDavid scored, but you have something to rally around. You have the second half of that game that you dominated, and you have that last play of not giving up. Mm-hmm. I do feel like the Panthers go into Edmonton in Game 6, and I do feel like it's over.
Go ahead, Mark.
I was just going to ask, was that last play, was that a microcosm of what we saw last night? Because you had Matthew Tkachuk, who makes an unbelievable play to save the game. There's about 20-ish seconds left. But then on that same play, you have Oliver Ekman-Larsson just coasting and essentially allows McDavid to score that goal.
Well, OEL thought the puck went in. So they talked to him, and he had thought that Matthew made a heck of a play, but he's like, I just thought that it crossed the line. He goes, I didn't. So he's like, I stopped playing. And he goes, then McDavid got it back, and he said, I felt like an a-hole.
Well, that's what I mean, like a microcosm. Maybe half the team is feeling one way, maybe the other team is feeling.
I don't think so.
No?
No, I think if you're going to use that as like a microcosm of like the highs and lows of things, was that whole game for both teams. Mm-hmm. Like the Oilers scored, then Panthers come back 14 seconds later and score. And then you're killing off the penalty right to the very end, and then Evan Bouchard takes a shot, hits the inside of Zach Hyman's knee, and goes in. then you battle back and score again. So,
yeah.
Is there any concern? Well, first of all, that play, like, it could be looked at this two ways. Like, yeah, Matthew Tkachuk made probably one of the best saves by a non-goalie that I've ever seen in a Stanley Cup Final, or maybe in playoff that I've seen. But then Connor McDavid said, "Yeah, good save. I'm going to score." Like, that to me is part of it. But then the other question I had is, do you feel that there's maybe some tension in the pipes for Bobrovsky, saying you gave up 5 goals a couple of nights ago, you gave up 4 last night? Like, is there starting to be some concern there for the Panthers and for him? Because that's a lot of goals in 2 games.
First half of the game, yeah. That one goal by McDavid along the ice from a horrible angle that beat Bobrovsky, I was sitting there with the fam last night and I said, that's unacceptable. Mm-hmm. That can't happen. But I do feel like, just like everybody else, I feel like Bobrovsky's confidence rose. Even in the third period, it was like a partial breakaway, and he made an unbelievable save on one of the opportunities that the Oilers had. It's almost like, for me, it's almost like halfway through that game, they're like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
Mm-hmm.
Let's get back to doing what we do best. And if you look at the game, the pattern of the game itself, puck possession time went up for the Panthers. Cycling the puck went up. Down below the goal line, there was a higher amount of time for the Panthers, so they started to impose their game on the Oilers once again. Oilers generated very little to no attempts off the rush in the second half of that game. Connor McDavid looked like, a hot knife through butter in the beginning of that second period. By the way, Nico Mikkola, all your job is to just stand in front of him there.
Oh, boy.
He had the support of a back checker, a defenseman, and he reaches for the puck. Why do you care about the puck? I tell all my young defensemen, don't look at the head, look at the shoulders or the stick. Look right at the midsection. I've yet to see a player that can shimmy shake the midsection so much that you can't figure out where they're going.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the rest. Even if you just put a big cross check up, you don't have to cross check. Hold your stick. Keep him out there.
Yeah.
No, he didn't. He went for the puck. And what happened? Goal. But look, Connor McDavid is almost single-handedly got his team back to this point. I would be remiss not to give Stuart Skinner some props. He made some massive saves last night at some important times. But, Marsha, you put it in the group text last night. Like, the Florida team looks different after Matthew Tkachuk decided to, introduce himself to the series.
He was a man on a mission last night. You mentioned Stuart Skinner. How does he factor into these next, we'll just say the next game, because, Game 7's not set in stone, but he has a 9-0 record, a 1.56 goals against average, a .938 save percentage, and 1 shutout in games 4 through 7 this postseason. So he's coming up big when his team really needs him to. How does he factor into the rest of the series?
He's a huge factor. The goaltending's huge. Just for people who don't watch hockey a lot, just go back to Game 7 in Boston for the Blues. I know we use it all the time, but it's an easy reference point for people. Jordan Binnington made saves that he should not have made. The result was the Blues won the game. Last night, Stuart Skinner made some saves early in the game that he should not have made, even towards the end. And the result is the Oilers come away with the victory. So, yes, Stuart Skinner's performance is going to be, it is imperative in order for the Oilers to win. And the Panthers, man, they don't want to go back to Florida. You do not want to drag this series back to South Florida. At that point, man, you're in a one-win situation against a team that has generated a tidal wave of momentum against you. Paul Maurice, right now, he's going to have to defer to his assistant coach, Jamie Compon, who is our video coach here in St. Louis when Joel Quenneville was my coach. Now he's an assistant coach. He is a Stanley Cup winning assistant coach with the Chicago Blackhawks. Paul Maurice is going to have to defer to Jamie Compon right now. And what is your experience? Hey, Vladimir Tarasenko, come in my office. What should we be doing? Are we focusing on the right things? This is where you draw from players and staff's past experience, because Paul Maurice has been coaching for 30 years now in the NHL, and he's never won a cup. And if you don't think he's puckering up a little bit right now, he is. This might be his only and last time to do it. Now is when you pull the audience, you pull from the group to generate any kind of momentum you can. And I think that the second half of that game last night will be enough in the video room to show these guys what it looks like when you play the way you're supposed to.
Last little nugget here. This is according to Ben Holden. Edmonton has lost 3 straight games 3 times in the regular season, and we're a combined 29-0 after those 3-game losing streaks. So should be a hell of a last maybe few games here in the Stanley Cup Final. We'll see if the Panthers can close it out on Friday.
Yeah, things have definitely changed.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. And you know what? I'm happier with it going this way. I didn't really want to see a bloodbath, although I predicted it in 5. And I felt still, in the third period last night, I felt like it was going to get there.
That would have been a great way to win the Cup.
I told my son last night, Big Haas, I said, or Braden actually, I said, son, sometimes you don't lose the game, the time just runs out. And that's literally what it felt like last night.
In that second period, too, I think if the Panthers have a little bit more time in the second period, I think they end up winning that game.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Don't forget, we got the Oilers and Panthers Game 6, pregame and the game. It all starts right here on 101 ESPN, starting at 6:30. We've got Prove Me Wrong next, so if you want to send us a Prove Me Wrong statement that Carey, Jamie, and I have to argue against and convince Marsh of, then send it in to the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. Prove Me Wrong next.
Prove me wrong, kids. Prove me wrong.
All right, time to step into the courtroom of the Honorable Judge Andrew Marsh. He is judge, jury, and executioner here, and prove me wrong.
Awesome in his hat, too. It's a stellar hat he has on.
But as you often note, he's covering up just an incredible head of hair.
Oh, it's a lion's mane.
A lion's mane.
I can have that hair.
Yeah, I know.
Or that actually, Carey,
or the hat.
I would love to see you with that exact hair.
Yes.
It would be beautiful.
It would look real good.
It looks good on anybody.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
Especially him.
Flowing locks on.
Oh, yeah.
Wonderful.
Yep.
Be amazing.
Judge, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. And speaking of the hair, the mullet is coming back soon. So,
Is it? Your mullet, specifically?
My mullet.
The mullet has never left, but your mullet.
Yeah. Well, the mullet. I mean, listen.
It's more of like a way of life.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
Even if I don't have it, you always have it.
Marsh,
you know?
I can't wait to see your Kentucky waterfall.
Ooh, I like that.
It'll be nice.
All right, Judge. What is our first case via the Air Comfort Service text line?
All right, from the 636, prove me wrong. Nolan Gorman should be traded.
Listen, you give up a left-handed power bat, and the first thing that's going to strike your organization is, oh, we don't have a young, cost-controlled, left-handed power bat. We need one. Well, you just gave up one. I think you have plenty to deal from within this organization if you want to make a move. You also just acquired a bunch of assets a year ago at the deadline when you were sellers. I don't think you need to trade Nolan Gorman in efforts to get some pitching help that you need. So deal with the internal options that you have. I wouldn't go overboard when it comes to giving up like young pitchers, but you have plenty of the same thing, the same players. Donovans, Edmonds, Sajasis. You've got a lot of those type of players. Maybe you deal there first as opposed to giving up kind of the unicorn within the organization in Nolan Gorman.
Yeah, and to further that, Anthony, which, by the way, well done.
Thank you.
Your power bats that you thought you had, even from the right side of the plate, have kind of disappeared here this season. So if you get rid of not just a lefty bat, just a power bat overall, a guy that can touch seats quickly, like you're really messing up your team. Now is not the time to do that.
No, not at all.
I was just waiting because you could have said something that gave you the buzzer. It looked like you were about to say something.
Well, I felt like our case was done, and I didn't want to provide more, any more evidence.
What was it, Marshy, that would have ruined it?
Well, I don't know, but it looked like Anthony was about to say something, so I was on high alert.
Yeah, well, John from the Snake Pit says, prove me wrong, Burleson and Donaldson are making Nolan Gorman tradable left-handed bats who are driving in runs and producing offense. Still not the same player.
Who's Donaldson?
I think he means Donovan.
Josh Donaldson.
Josh Donaldson.
I think he retired.
Yeah, I think they wanted to.
Although I'd take his numbers.
I think John
maybe not his
thought if the Cardinals could sign Donaldson, even though he's right-handed, and done with baseball. Yeah, obviously he meant Donovan.
Marshy's stash.
This one will probably be quick, but from the 636, prove me wrong. The best hockey player right now is not playing currently in the Stanley Cup.
Just go ahead.
Well,
whatever you're going to say. Yeah.
No need to.
Just don't. After watching what's going on, I mean, my goodness.
It's pretty good.
Here's an interesting one from Thanks Dad. Always has some insight for us. Prove me wrong. Blaming Carey is like blaming Ollie Marmol. Neither have stepped 1 foot in the box. Neither have thrown one pitch.
The impact these two have on the game is astronomical. You look at a guy like Ollie, he doesn't have to set into the batter's box. All he has to do is go get a pitcher early. Look what happened there, the old chain reaction. And then what happens there, the chain reaction? Well, that grabs Carey Davis, too. Then Carey Davis starts with his, he don't care, I don't care, what am I doing? And he starts the negativity. And we know the players listen. We know the players.
He put the glasses
Carey,
on yesterday is right.
We know the players listen. And when you spread that negativity, it forces them to try and do something they can't. And then it forces Ollie to overmanage at that point. And so even though Carey and Ollie have never set foot in the batter's box or on the pitcher's mound to make an impact on the game, everything they do, from Carey's attitude to the way Ollie hears it, to the decisions Ollie makes because of what Carey doesn't care about, affects the outcome of everything.
Tell Chris Raycroft not to cover first.
Yeah, but you did put on the glasses, and since that point, the Cardinals are 0-2 against the Miami last-place Marlins.
And you have to wait your turn to speak in this court, sir.
Yeah, you know what? You guys are not cohesive enough.
Carey doesn't count. You can't let Carey influence. He's the problem.
He's part of the group.
Well, he's part of the problem.
It was our case, though, Judge.
Yeah.
While we do have...
It was our case.
No, every now and then we have independent cases.
You were too close.
Haven't you ever seen the show Suits?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have.
They sue each other all the time.
Yep.
We have an Ollie Marmol blame machine that Anthony carefully crafted. We don't have one of those for Carey. It's probably in the making right now.
Yeah.
But, until then, I'm going to have to give you the buzzer.
Blame CD.
Prove me wrong from the 573. The Cardinals fumbled the bag on the development of Jordan Walker, and we should all be concerned or at least reset our expectations of him.
The kid is 22 years old. They haven't fumbled anything. In fact, he's starting to prove right now in AAA that things are coming along just nicely. This narrative of messing a kid up, and they've ruined him. He's barely out of training pants. This kid is still so young that he's got a whole career ahead of him. The notion that the Cardinals have ruined his development is just absolutely astounding to me, that people could think that. He's got a lot of time left to develop. He's got a lot of time left to get better, and he's doing that right now. He's continuously inching his way back to the Cardinals lineup, and when he does get back here, then he'll stay here and have a true impact.
It was a good rebound by you, gentlemen.
Nice. Yeah.
This one's good. From the 314. Now Jamie is jumping off the Oilers bandwagon. Prove me wrong that Jamie only roots for teams that win and jump ship as soon as things go poorly. Does it with the Blues every year?
Well, I will take that because Jamie is not a bandwagon fan. I mean, he's been rooting for these Cardinals all year and last year. He's been a fan of them even when they were 20 games under 500. I didn't see anyone more steadfast in their approach to cheer on. And he got on me yesterday for not believing, and today about not believing about a team that just dropped 2 or 3 to the Miami Marlins, the worst team in National League. But he's been a true fan. And you talk about the Blues. There is not one man that parades around with the Blues flag longer and higher than Jamie Rivers. He's done a great job. He is one of their he is a captain Blue, right? He is one of their Blues, and he's a man of St. Louis Blues. He believes, and I believe, and he's a fan, not a fair weather fan. He's just a true believer in what he watches and what he sees in hockey. And again, anyone that can back this Cardinals team as much as he has over the past couple of years cannot be considered a fair weather fan at all.
Go Blues.
Well said. Well said. His two favorite teams that have made the playoffs in years.
And he still watches, unlike anyone else.
Yep.
Gets mad at us when we don't approve.
I'll tell you what, he goes to every home game. Every single Blues home game.
Every road game.
He goes.
He's at every
road
game.
game. He's at every game.
You show me a fan that does more than him for the
Exactly.
St. Louis Blues.
Yeah.
Well said. Plus, I don't ever recall Jamie even saying the Oilers were going to win this series, so I don't recall that at all.
No,
I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know.
No,
I usually
you're not,
am.
Judge.
Let's do one more here from the 661, sort of going off of what we were talking about and what's trending. Prove me wrong. The Dino Expert Edition, the Cretaceous period is better than the Jurassic period. Anthony, your thoughts?
On. Are you kidding me? Well, the Cretaceous period does have... Honestly, while the late Cretaceous period does have plenty of interesting dinosaurs, the Jurassic period, of course, you made a movie, a documentary out of the Jurassic period. Besides, there are many dinosaurs that eclipse both the Jurassic and the Cretaceous period. For example, the king of all dinosaurs, of course, the Tyrannosaurus Rex. There was a period in which he covered both the Jurassic and the Cretaceous. But listen, if you want to talk about documentaries, one of the best documentaries ever created was in 1994 called Jurassic Park, not Cretaceous Park. Okay? I rest my case.
Was the T-Rex actually a part of the Cretaceous period?
I think so.
You bought it.
Let's see here. I'm just going to check.
Yeah, sure. I wouldn't check until we're done with the segment.
I think we're done.
Yeah, no, we're done. We're done.
We don't need a.
We've exited.
Good job.
Let's see here.
Who knows?
Let me see here.
Cretaceous period.
Dinosaurs exist before the Cretaceous period.
There you go.
Yeah. It doesn't say Jurassic period, but you know what? It's probably in there somewhere in Wikipedia. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. The Cardinals' offense, based on some statistics, isn't bad, but it isn't good. What are these stats that we'll read off to you? Actually, tell us about this Cardinals' offense. That's next on 101 ESPN.
Are you tired of those old windows? They're ugly, they're beat up, they're not efficient. Get yourself over to Window World. Preferred window of the St. Louis Blues. Window World windows are one of the 2 windows with the Good Housekeeping seal of approval. They also are ranked #1 in number of windows sold in the country by Qualified Remodeler magazine. How do they get these awards? It's simple. They have an unbelievable product. Window World uses a double-strength glass that you just don't find in other replacement windows. That means better durability and better efficiency, keeping money in your wallet. They also give you a lifetime warranty that covers all the parts, glass breakage, and labor. And right now, are offering 36 months same as cash financing with approved credit, and all you have to do is pick up the phone, tell them Jamie Rivers from 101 sent you in, and call 314-993-1800. Again, that's 314-993-1800, or you can visit them at windowworldstlouis.com.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. You just heard it. The Panthers will try and win the Cup in Game 6 in Edmonton. We'll have Game 6 for you on Friday, 6:30 right here on 101 ESPN. The Cardinals lost today to the Miami Marlins 4-3. They dropped 2 of 3 to the Marlins. They'll take on the Giants tomorrow, 6:15 first pitch at Rickwood Field, and you can catch the game on Fox. We talked earlier today with BT, Brad Thompson. If you missed that interview, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page, and you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. The Cardinals' offense is not bad, but it is not good. We have some stats, and we're going to read those off next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
When you look at where they are from a pitching standpoint, I believe it's better than most expected it to be. Offensively, I think it's worse than pretty much everybody expected it to be. Again, top to bottom, whole season. So that's where you're going to gain your ground. And games like today are a perfect example. We've talked about this a lot in the last couple of weeks. So how do you protect your bullpen? Yeah, it's starters giving you more innings. It's also having your offense score a bunch of runs and blow the doors off people.
Agree with you, Brad. You're right.
In fairness, in the last month, they have absolutely done that. But that is, in my eyes, what is creating that separation, right? Where does it come from? Where do you really gain that ground? Even though they've gained plenty of ground in the Central, how do you catch up to the Brewers? It's your offense hits you back into these things.
That was Brad Thompson, who joined us earlier today following the Marlins victory over the Cardinals 4-3. They hit a walk-off, so twice the last 2 days. The Marlins have walked it off against the Cardinals. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Twice since Carey put on those red glasses and pretty much spat in the face of Cardinals fans everywhere.
Wow.
While doing so. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter. Brooks Gate, at Brooks Gate, put together a list of offensive numbers that every team in Major League Baseball, like where they fall in. And this is why the Cardinals are where they're at right now. They're 19th in batting average in the league, 20th in OPS, 19th in WRC+, 16th in walk to strikeout ratio. They're 15th in ERA, 11th in FIP, 18th in batting average against, 13 in strikeout to walk rate, 11th in BSR, and then 19th in I don't even know what statistic that is. So, whatever. What's OAA? Opponent average. Athleticism. Just making stuff up now.
Outs above average.
Outs above average. There you go.
That's what I was thinking.
Let me just read off the numbers. Forget the stats, all right? 19th, 20th, 19th, 16th, 15th, 11th, 18th, 13th, 11th, and 19th.
Oh,
19th.
Yeah. That's a middling team, Anthony.
Okay, there you go.
What?
Forget like batting average, forget ERA, forget advanced metrics, forget standard. This covers it all.
This is
19th, 20th, 19th, 16th, 15th, 11th, 18th, 13th, 11th, and 19th. There's the power rankings in all the major statistical categories.
So room for improvement, sure.
Yeah,
but not terrible. Yeah.
You're 35 and 36 after losing today to Miami.
Oh, are we one game under 500 again?
Yes, okay. That's correct.
But just imagine if
they weren't.
Just a little bit.
In certain categories.
It's a couple of percentage points more.
Right. Then you'll be set. Yeah, then you'll be a couple of games above 500.
Yeah.
But what are they the last month?
What your record says you are.
This is the whole year you're talking about, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
What are they the last month? Because that's what matters. That's what I was told. Yep.
Who told you that?
Everybody. Just keep telling me. Was it him? It was him? It was this guy?
Yeah.
That guy over there?
Correct.
He's not looking. It was that guy that told me that the last month is what matters.
What? Yeah. Marsh, a couple days ago.
He did say the best team in baseball since Mother's Day.
Yep.
When was Mother's Day?
You didn't want us to count April.
No, I didn't. And you could also say they're one of the worst teams in the last 3 days.
Come on home, Marshy. Yes.
Let's just cherry pick where we're at here.
I'm a back and forth kind of guy.
Let's take.
What have you done for me lately?
You've given them 2 losses.
Yeah. So for now, I hate them.
The entire body of work, it makes sense. You're 36 and 37. The entire body of work this year. You've had good stretches. You've had bad stretches. You're an average team. You're minus 39 run differential. That's what they are.
Is that bad?
It's not good. It is bad. Let's just call it like it is. It is bad. But because the National League is so top heavy, you're still in it.
Are you?
Yes.
Are you really?
You're in it for a playoff spot. Yes.
How many games back are they now in the division? Is it 7?
There's 7.
Okay, you don't need to worry about the
7.
division because there's wild cards available.
All right. Until other teams, I don't know.
You're even with the Diamondbacks.
Maybe no one is going to play better all year long. Everyone is going to be middling at 500. Cool.
Alex just said, "Gotta start calling you BK," and for guys BK as much as you like to cherry pick the stats.
Yeah.
Wow.
I just literally said the entire body of work is your average. You're 36 and 37.
We're half a game above San Diego, San Francisco.
This is why we get. By the way, this is why we get texters who, when we start to be down on the team, they chime in and say, "Well, you guys are always so negative. Look at the last month.
Look at the last 3 days."
And then we start talking about some of their good stretches, and you get people that are saying, "You guys are cherry picking." They're an average ass team. Come on.
You can't please everyone.
You're fine. The only reason why they're giving you some sort of optimism is because the National League is so top heavy. That's it. That's the only reason. You can look at it and say the Arizona Diamondbacks, same class as the Cardinals, Padres, Giants, even the Pirates, the Mets now.
You know where the Diamondbacks ended up last year.
I certainly do, Jamie. Thank you. The Braves are 10 games above 500. The only reason why they're 10 games above 500 and not more is because they've got injuries. Like significant injuries.
The Cardinals have injuries, Anthony.
Yeah, significant injuries.
I thought he was going to. I don't know.
I mean, both answers are right.
They have good players.
It is right. It is. You are correct.
Really
Carey.
good players.
Yeah.
And really good pitching. Even though, guys have gotten injured for them. We've had injuries.
This is maddening.
It's
maddening.
Do tell.
2 days ago. 2 days ago.
You know I agree with you. I just let you go in front of the bus this time.
Wow.
You know?
Come on. It's fun.
Wow.
Step out
I
here.
do it enough.
Step on out.
I tried the last couple of days.
Tell me how you really feel. How do you feel after today's game? After 3 games versus the Miami Marlins, 2 of which went to extra innings, 1 of which they lost in the bottom of the 9th. How do you feel? 2 losses.
Wait. Before he talks, you lost 2 games to one of the best managers in the National League.
He might be coaching the worst team in the National League. There you go. Managing.
Do you know how I feel after the last 2 days?
How do you feel?
Same as before. I feel the same way as I did in the offseason.
You weren't excited?
And then in May comes and they start to pile up some wins, and listeners say, you guys, you're talking so bad about my Cardinals. This team is average. Oh, now you guys want to jump on the bandwagon. No, we don't.
Told me
we want to see them be better.
When they win the World Series, I need to leave town. I will be at the damn parade.
Come on.
How about that?
Come on.
I'll throw this out right now. I've been thinking about it.
Oh, boy.
I mentioned the mullet earlier. I've had this thought in my brain. If the Cardinals win the World Series, I will get a skullet. I will come to work with a skullet.
Okay.
I will shave my head with hair in the If they win the World Series.
Not much of a risk of that.
They said the same thing about the Blues, Jamie, in 2019.
Did they?
Yeah.
Andy in the snake pit. Average team playing average baseball. Exactly.
So why do people get upset? Why do people get upset when we tell the truth?
Because they want so desperately.
They want us to lie?
No, they want so desperately to see their team have one of those 06 and 11 runs because they know they exist, and watch good baseball. I don't blame them.
It's like
I do not blame them for wanting their team to do well. And then they listen to us, and we're realistic about it, and they get upset. I don't blame them for wanting to watch their team do good. I want to watch it too. I don't want to see that. This isn't as bad as it was a year ago. Like, that stunk. You couldn't even talk about the games in the second half. I don't want that again. But we're really speaking of cherry picking, we're cherry picking where, how bad it actually is.
It's still bad.
It's average.
I think a lot of people just want to be right when a majority of a fan base or just anything in life, when you think that you're correct, or it just you cling on to that feeling, because at the end of the year you want to go back and say, look, I was with the team the whole time.
Yeah.
And you guys were hating, and now you're coming back. Like,
correct. People
just feel that way. They feel about movies, TV shows, just everything, especially sports.
Marshy Stash goes, Anthony, it's not like the same person is flippy-flopping. You just hear from a certain group. Exactly. No, I agree. It depends on how they're doing. If the Cardinals are playing well at a certain time, we hear from the optimistic.
I told you so.
Yeah, the optimistic group, the blind optimistic group. I'm not saying that in a negative way. I get it. You want to see your team do well. So do we. But we're not going to sit here and lie to you. You know?
I won't. I mean, like I said, watching these games is what causes stress.
Yeah.
Because I want the team to be successful. I want them to win. And when I see performances, things that you know that they can do better or be better at, you're a professional athlete, there is an expectation for you to do your job in order for you to keep your job.
Correct.
And if you're not doing it well enough, that's everyone included, from front office down to the last man on the roster. If you're not doing your job well enough, it's hard for people to understand how you're keeping your job.
Yeah.
That comes with the territory.
Alex, I missed your last message, buddy. My bad. I love you, man. Sometimes I get hot. Get a little heated. Alex, I love you in the snake pit. You hold us accountable.
I got to.
Mm-hmm. Good job, Anthony.
You too, Jamie.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Did I mention the Cardinals lost today to the Marlins?
Oh, man.
Again. Could Perunovich's deal give way to other moves this offseason? I don't know how they're connected, but maybe they are. That's next on 101 ESPN. Massive price discounts up to $20,000 off with no payments for 3 months and no down payment available on select new and used inventory right now at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. All current Nissan specials and incentives are available for any hail-affected new Nissan, and you can stack up the discounts while saving thousands in the process. And out at Herculaneum, there's only one spot, one location, one dealership with over 700 vehicles, and that's Auto Centers Nissan. As always, 30-day new car return promise at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. Complimentary lifetime warranty on new Nissans and eligible used vehicles. You talk about that peace of mind coverage after you drive off the lot. You get the 30-day return promise within 30 days. If you're not completely satisfied with the vehicle, bring it back and they'll refund your money. Complimentary lifetime warranty that I mentioned, and the complimentary one-year maintenance on new Nissan purchases too. It's all available at one location out in Herculaneum. Check them out at AutoCentersNissan.com. When you head down to Herculaneum, tell them Stalter sent you. It's Auto Centers Nissan. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. Scott Perunovich signed a deal yesterday, 1 year, one-way deal, contract extension. And if you look at kind of the Blues offseason, do you think that Doug Armstrong will run it back with this defense? Or does that mean that the Blues could be shopping one of their defensemen like he tried to a year ago? After not being able to move Torrey Krug last year, Jamie.
Yeah.
What do you think? And look, you're trying to bring us into the situation, into Doug Armstrong's office without any sort of intel. But what do you think Army's going to try to do with his defense this offseason?
Well, look, I truly believe Army's going to continue to try and improve this team overall and the defensive side of it as well. As our listeners know, the top 4 defensemen that you have all have no trade clauses, and that makes it extremely difficult for any general manager to wheel and deal. And some of these have some interesting, I guess, additions to it, like Justin Falk's no trade clause changes July 1st next year, where he can submit 15 teams that he won't go to. So things open up a little bit in the last 2 years of the deal there. Torrey Krug, same thing. And Colton Parayko, to 2028. So there's time. There's a lot of time between now when their no trades expire. So will Army try to improve it? Yes. Does the Scott Perunovich signing change anything? No, I really don't think so, because you still have to have the right amount of guys in your organization. You still have Tyler Tucker with 1 year left at $800,000. Marco Scandella, now an unrestricted free agent. And, of course, you've got Matthew Kessel, who's going to be on your team next year. But if a deal presents itself to Doug Armstrong, if there's an opportunity out there to improve the D-core and move on from one of these players, then he's going to do it. And there's nothing that says that he wouldn't move on from every single one of them. I think that Colton Parayko, in my opinion, is probably pretty safe. I don't know who you could add to trade him for that would justify, because the team that has a player that would warrant the trade, they're probably not getting rid of said player. He's probably a pretty good player, too. But after that, I think the board is wide open. If Army finds a good deal for a Justin Falk or a Torrey Krug or Nick Leddy, he's going to make that deal. If he finds a good deal for Scott Perunovich, where maybe there's a team that's building their roster right now, maybe it's a Utah team that literally has like almost nobody under contract for next year. Maybe they're looking for a young puck-moving defenseman, and they're willing to part with some assets or some younger players that they've got that could help you out, or maybe even an experienced guy. And I'm just brainstorming right now. I don't know any of this to be true.
Yeah.
But I certainly don't see Army and now Alex Steen sitting there in the office going, man, we're good. We are good. We don't need to do anything.
Right.
I don't see that happening. But I also don't see a situation where they're actively just shopping everybody either, because contrary to what happened today in the NHL, where Pierre-Luc Dubois got traded 1-for-1 for Darcy Kemper and just a pure trade, that doesn't really happen very much anymore. You take that Markstrom trade from Calgary to New Jersey earlier today, and Calgary still had to retain 30% of his salary. That's because everybody's up against it. So for Army to make a difference in this defensive core and make a trade out there for somebody to shake it up, the numbers have to match. The dollars have to match, and make sure that you can handle it from a salary cap standpoint. And, again, back to the beginning of the story, your 4 top guys have no trade clauses.
That's what I was going to add. I mean, we saw that play out last year. And so I guess the toughest question is, how do you get your team better if you've given these players no trade clauses, but you may want to move on from them? What is the other option if you're not able to trade them? Well, and you need to move on from them because either the play isn't good enough, or the contract isn't what you want to pay them at this point.
We can have a very frank discussion with these guys. Each and every one of them saying, listen, man, I know you have the no trade. You've earned it. I gave it to you.
Right.
But at this point, we want to move in a different direction. Would you submit a 10-team list of places you would go and find out who'll bite? You know, like Nick Leddy's getting a little bit older up there. Like maybe he'd like to go to play for a contender. Maybe Justin Falk would like a chance to be in the playoffs next year with a team that's a contender. Torrey Krug, he might have rethought some things now, and It's been a couple more years, and it's like, the Blues may or may not make the playoffs next year. I'm assuming that they will. I'm hopeful that they will. But sometimes that's what can entice a veteran player to waive their no-trade clause, is going to what they believe is a better situation for them. And so I think there might be some frank discussions, although you don't want to kick up too much dust, because then you end up with a roster full of players that don't think you have any confidence in them. So it's difficult. Like last year, Army put together that whole trade before he asked Torrey Krug to waive his no trade, which makes sense, because if you ask the player first, and I don't know. Yeah. The way to do it for me is get the trade in place, or if you definitely want to move on from a certain player, then you have to be willing to sacrifice that relationship a little bit and ask that player, where would you go to? Because we are trading you. I know you have a no trade, but we'll find a way to make it so you're not here next year.
Yeah.
With a no trade, it's not a no move. You could waive a guy, too. You could put any one of these guys on waivers, and then another team can pick them up. So now they don't have any choice in the matter at all. So if you put Torrey Krug, let's say him, on waivers, the Utah team with tons of cap space could just claim him off waivers, and that's not a movement, or that's not a trade.
Right.
It's a movement.
Right.
So you tempt the player by saying, "Would you like to have a say, a little bit, in where you go, or I'm going to put you on waivers, and if you clear waivers, you're going to play in Springfield until you're willing to waive your no trade clause." Now, it is a horrible thing to do. You have to be, determined at that point as the GM.
You've been talking about this for years.
It is a shrewd business move.
That's Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis, Anthony Stalter. We've got a returning Gauntlet performer.
I apologize, fellas.
No, it's us at this point. We've lost
Boys,
five
we got to
straight.
pull our socks up here.
Let's do it. Gauntlet next on 101 ESPN.
Are you currently paying way too much for your ED meds, fellas? Stop. Want to take care of you. Whether it's that little blue pill or the gummies, you're paying too much, man. I want to help you, and the best way to do it is by sending you to the Medicine Shop in St. Charles. They're your destination for cheap ED meds. They've got a generic called Sildenafil for less than $2 a pill. I've seen this advertised other places. Not for less than $2 a pill. Prescription is required. And they also have an amazing service for you. They bring the pharmacy right to your front door. What do you mean? Well, if you're a person that has medication you use on a regular basis, the Medicine Shop in St. Charles offers you free, discreet shipping and delivery to your home or your workplace. It's a fantastic program for people with crazy lives where you just can't get to the pharmacy. Your kids are busy. You're busy. Don't worry about it. The Medicine Shop comes to you. I use this service, and I absolutely love it, and you will too. So please stop by the pharmacy. Tell them Jamie Rivers says hi. But if you can't do that, get there online at stcharles.medicineshop.com. That's stcharles.medicineshop.com.
4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you master the Gauntlet?
The Gauntlet is powered by Master, your hometown source for business communications for more than 30 years. Visit mastor.com.
Time for the Gauntlet here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. 403, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler, with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. We welcome back Kyle. What's up, Kyle?
How you guys doing?
Well, not great,
Kyle,
man.
I'm
We lost
not okay.
5 straight.
Not okay, Kyle. You won fair and square.
Oh, dang, Kyle.
Oh, Kyle. All right. And
Hey, good news is I went to the Cricket store last night and traded my Motorola Razr for an iPhone.
Every time you got rid of that flip phone, Kyle.
Nice,
Proud
nice.
of you.
All right, Kyle, you beat Carey yesterday. Round 2 today. Who do you want?
I'll take on Jamie.
I knew it.
Jamie said it right before we came back. He said, Kyle's coming for me. All right, so Jamie.
Good luck, Kyle.
Thank you. Same to you.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, so Jamie's got to make his way into the cone of silence. Kyle, you're going to tell Andrew Marsh to spin that wheel.
Spin that wheel.
What are we hoping for, Kyle?
Hey, baseball. I feel like Jamie's not the best of that.
Okay, baseball. What'd you get yesterday? Baseball?
Hockey.
Oh, hockey.
Yeah, lucky with choosing Carey.
Football is the category today.
Yesterday.
All right,
I'll
well,
take it.
there you go, Kyle. You're going to get 4 football-related questions today, all worth 2 points, as you know. If you ask for the options, they're worth 1 point. If you don't ask for the options, obviously they're worth 2 points. So Marsh is handing us, thank you, Marsh. Marsh is handing us the cone of, not the cone of silence, excuse me, the launch codes. All right, Kyle, are you ready?
Yes, I sure am.
Question 1. How many times have the Kansas City Chiefs reached the Super Bowl in their history? How many times have the Kansas City Chiefs reached the Super Bowl in their history?
I'll take the options.
6, 7, or 8?
Let's go with 8.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Question number 2. Name the 2 teams the Chiefs have lost to in the Super Bowl.
Shoot. Options.
Is it the Packers and the 49ers, the Packers and the Buccaneers, or the 49ers and the Buccaneers?
Let's go 49ers and Buccaneers.
Final?
Final.
Question number 3. Who is the Chiefs' all-time leading rusher with over 7,000 rushing yards in his Chiefs career?
Options.
Options are Larry Johnson, Priest Holmes, or Jamal Charles.
So Jamal Charles.
Final answer?
Final answer, sorry.
All right, Kyle, question 4. Priest Holmes played 6 years for the Chiefs and 4 years with which other team?
Who was the name?
Priest Holmes. Priest Holmes played 6 years for the Chiefs, 4 years with which other team? You want the options?
Yeah, 2 options.
Ravens, Vikings, Bengals.
Do I get a phone a friend?
No.
Okay. I'll go with. I'll go with Ravens.
Final answer?
Final answer.
All right, let's bring back Jamie. How you feeling, Kyle?
Maybe not too well.
Not too great? Okay. Guess you weren't ready for all. Never mind.
Yeah, not Chiefs. I didn't study Chiefs last night.
All right, Jamie is putting his headphones in right now.
All right.
All right. How was it going to silence, Jamie?
It was good. I mean, Mike Ryder was, he was there physically, but emotionally unavailable for me. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, that's too bad. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I expected a little more from him as far as like motivating me, and he just kept clicking his mouse. It sounded like 100 mice tap dancing at the same time.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
Either way, I'll battle through it.
Good.
Okay.
Jamie,
Carey?
back at lunch.
Okay.
Hey, already?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Your category today, Jamie, is football.
Oh, I love football, Carey.
Football
I love football.
is your category. Are you ready?
Yep.
How many times have the Kansas City Chiefs reached the Super Bowl in their history? How many times have they reached the Super Bowl in their history?
options. Options, please.
6, 7, or 8.
Of course. Of course. I will say 6. Final answer.
Question number 2.
Yeah.
Name the 2 teams the Chiefs have lost to in the Super Bowl.
Okay, well, one is the Buccaneers, and the other one is, I don't know. I have a feeling it was like eons ago. Options.
Is it the Packers and 49ers, the Packers and Buccaneers, or the 49ers and Buccaneers?
It's the Packers and the Buccaneers. Final answer, please.
Question number 3. Who is the Chiefs' all-time leading rusher with over 7,000 rushing yards in his Chiefs career?
Options, please.
Options are Larry Johnson, Priest Holmes, or Jamal Charles.
3 good players right there. Larry Johnson's a very attractive answer. I don't know if he played enough. Jamar Charles. I'll go with Charles. Final answer.
Last question for you, Jamie. Priest Holmes played 6 years for the Chiefs and 4 years with which other team?
Priest Holmes played 4 years with the Chiefs. I'm trying to picture the uniform.
Sure.
Right now, and it's not working.
Okay.
So how about we narrow it down, please?
All right. Ravens, Vikings, Bengals.
It's not the Vikings. I don't think it was the Bengals. I don't know it to be the Ravens, but I don't think it's the other 2 teams. I'll go with the Ravens. Final answer.
All right.
Ugh.
Here we go. How many times have the Kansas City Chiefs reached the Super Bowl in their history? Kyle, you said 8. Jamie, you said 6. Correct answer is 6. 6.
Oh.
They're 4-2 in their Super Bowl history. Jamie up 1-0. Who is the Chiefs' all-time leading rusher with over 7,000 rushing yards in his Chiefs career? Kyle, you said Jamal Charles. Jamie, you said Jamal Charles. Correct answer is
Jamal Charles.
both of you needed the options. Jamie's still up 2-1. Priest Holmes played 6 years for the Chiefs and 4 years with which other team? Kyle, you said the Ravens. Jamie, you said the Ravens. Correct answer is
the Baltimore Ravens.
Both of you needed the options. Comes down to this. Jamie up 1. Name the 2 teams the Chiefs have lost to in the Super Bowl. Jamie, you said Packers and Buccaneers. Kyle, you said 49ers and Buccaneers. If it's the 49ers and Bucks, we got a walk-off. If it's the Packers and Bucks, Jamie wins. If it's the Packers or 49ers, Jamie also wins. And the fast lane losing skid ends at 5. Kyle?
You have chosen poorly.
You lose.
It was the Packers and the Bucks. Jamie got 4, Kyle 2. Kyle, nice job, though, and thanks for listening. Thanks for playing.
Yeah, you're welcome, guys, for helping you break the streak.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we appreciate you. Thanks for calling in, Kyle.
Yeah, appreciate you having me.
All right, buddy. See you, man.
See you, Kyle.
Jamie, nice job, man. Whew. That was a long losing skid, man. But you did it. You did it for us.
A little sweaty. Yeah.
You did it for us. You did it for Canada. You did it for America.
Everybody.
Yeah. Nice work.
First win since 1993 for the Canadians.
Yeah.
They
Nice
needed
job.
that.
They certainly did.
Yeah.
They absolutely did.
Man.
Yeah. Nice job, buddy.
I'll take it.
All right.
No Picasso, that's for sure.
No, that's
The
okay.
Cardinals
It didn't
need a
have to be.
Kyle, don't they?
Oh. wow.
They have one.
Schwarber, he sure would help.
I meant like play one.
Oh, yeah.
Get that losing streak. Well, 2 games.
They thought they were playing Kyle.
Yeah.
And then he got scratched because of the back tightness.
His back locked up.
Yeah. How many starters, speaking of which, in the rotation do you actually have confidence in? This should be easy. That's next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey, and if you're a contractor or you own a business that needs recycling, then you need to learn more about Scrap Mart Metals. They understand at Scrap Mart the job site cleanup for contractors is a mess, but if you set up a business account with Scrap Mart, it's one less thing you have to do while cleaning up. You'd be amazed at how scrap metals add up and how it can truly help your business's cash flow. If you own that heavy equipment, it breaks down often. You have to repair it over and over again. At some point, it's going to break down for good, and you're going to have to get rid of it. Scrap Mart will come get it out of your way. They will haul it to one of their locations and get you a check the same day. Or if you want to haul it away yourself, they have 3 convenient locations, Valley Park, Peevely, and Jonesburg. If it's metal, they will buy it. It's recycling made easy. They offer a convenient drive-on scale, and they have the highest payout. You will always get top dollar for your scrap metals. Just reach out to scrapmartmetals.com. My guy Lucas can talk to you about setting up a business account. Again, they are tailor-made for your business, and they will meet your schedule and budget. That's scrapmartmetals.com, and let them know that Carey sent you.
Green Day and Rancid on August 15th at Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. Here's your trivia question today. We just had the one and only Rafe stop by in our studios. He was kind of taking some I don't know. He's getting some feelers out for the home run derby.
He's coming in playing nice a little bit, eh, boys?
Yep.
Trying to see what's going on.
So Rafe last year in the home run derby, he kept talking about a certain thing that he wanted to do before the home run derby. It's basically a pre-workout, but he didn't call it a pre-workout. What did he call it? He called it that he needed it to take.
Are you asking us?
Might be tough. No, well, I'm asking the listeners.
Oh, that's the question.
Yeah, that's the question. To text in and win tickets now. You're good, Jamie. I got it.
The answers we're going to get are going to be hilarious.
That's kind of what my thought process is. So Mike Ryder will at least appreciate all the answers coming in. 314-399-9646. Again, 314-399-9646. You can text in to win those Green Day tickets now. What did Rafe call his pre-workout a year ago? He kept saying, he talked about it a lot. I need to take I'm going to time up all that. Find all the ticket details and a bonus chance to score free tickets to Green Day and Rancid at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 ESPN mobile app. How many starters in the rotation do you actually have confidence in right now for your Cardinals?
How many guys?
Yeah.
3.
I was going to do the whole.
Well, I didn't know what you were going to do. You just fooled me with a trivia question.
Not 1, not 2.
He didn't want the answer to.
I don't know.
Then he asks another question that he does want the answer to. I answer it, and apparently it's the wrong thing.
Well, my mic just punched me in the face. So,
smart Mike. All right, so how did you want to play this game, Anthony?
No, the game's over.
We'll start over.
Game's over.
Is the segment over because it's answered? What are we doing here?
It's a fast lane here.
Can we all answer on 3?
Okay.
Wait.
How many starters in the rotation do you actually have confidence in? 1, 2, 3. 3. What?
I got 3.
You didn't say anything.
I got 3.
I said 3.
You put up 3. You didn't say 3.
But it's started,
then he gave you new instructions that
Go back to the audio.
No.
Number 3, my lord. Number 3.
I said 3.
You did, but then he gave us new instructions.
And I just said it again. Go back in the YouTube.
Did you say
I say 3.
I thought you just put 3 fingers up.
Q-tips aren't just for show, Carey.
You shouldn't use Q-tips. They push the wax down in there.
What do they do?
Push the wax in. You gotta
push it in.
Yeah, you don't want to use a Q-tip.
Apparently not.
No. But just giving you a heads up.
Did you say 2?
I said 2. Me and Marshy said 2.
I said 3.
I said 3 too.
Yeah, I say 2 because
who are you leaving off?
Marsh, you see that? I speak right into the mic.
I see it.
I see a 3.
There's a 3. You do say 3. You kind of have this
I go back and I go,
you look
3.
like you're in a recliner and you're like,
I apologize.
3.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew.
I apologize.
And then you put 3 fingers up.
I didn't hear
you. Came at me quick, too.
Well,
I don't understand your anger.
I saw the 3 fingers. I didn't see or hear
I'm
you
sorry.
say anything.
I apologize for my 3 fingers. Should it have been
don't
2?
give me 1.
Just checking.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Jamie, now, Jamie, be nice. All right.
I thought I was, actually.
Be nice to the delivery guy. It's not his fault he can't read. Yeah.
Okay, Marsh, why do you say 2? Let Marshy said 2 as well.
All right, so I have Sonny Gray. In a mixture between Miles and
That's
Mike.
what I got.
That's
exactly what I got.
No mixtures then. 2 human beings.
No mixtures. That's what I have.
Actually, that's how it happens.
No mixtures then.
To get 1.
I'd like to
doing mixtures.
mix Lance Lynn with Shohei Ohtani, too. That ain't working.
Anyways, I have Sonny Gray. And even though he was injured today, I'll throw Kyle Gibson in there. Miles Michaelis has been pitching really well lately, but we saw this last year. He'd be really good 1 month, and then the next month he won it.
How could you?
And then Lance Lynn is, I feel like that's a pretty...
Yeah, he's there.
He's there, and he's not in my count. And then whoever's the 5th starter, right now it's Andre Palante. I don't really have faith in him unless he's playing the Reds.
I'm...
Wow.
What?
It is fair.
Just shots.
Fair.
I know it's fair. I said I can say something, but when you guys say something, it's fine. But when I do, it's like, oh my goodness.
Because you're the nice guy.
Yeah, you're
the nice one.
You're the innocent one.
Yeah.
Okay,
You're the 4 brothers we already discussed which one you were.
I'm the one that dies.
Yes.
He was sweet, though. He was so
sweet.
kind.
It was so hard to watch.
He's a hell of a guy.
That's probably why he couldn't last the whole documentary.
I mean,
Hell of a documentary.
It certainly was, yeah.
Very touching.
Anyways, 3 for me. Jamie, I'm assuming we're going to have the same 3.
Yeah, I got the 3.
Kyle Gibson, it's Sonny Gray, it's Miles Michaelis.
Yeah, as of right now, in the moment, that's what I trust.
I agree.
That's it.
Oh, we got to go back to April.
Oh, wow. Anthony, why is he coming at you? Non-stop this
Because he doesn't like my take about taking the whole season into account when calling this team.
I didn't like it for 2 days, and then this happened, and then now I'm feeling a little different.
Marsh goes after as soon as Alec Burleson little leagued that thing out in right field. Marsh goes, you know what this team is? Average. And they've been that way since April. That's what Marsh said.
Like I said, Carey's been rubbing off on me. I said that yesterday. He continues to do it, even though, I don't really want it. Sure. I want to believe.
Carey.
I told him, I watched Marshy look at the TV when we were walking out of the office. We were the last 2 out. And his expression told me everything. He was dejected. He was distraught. He was frustrated. And he looked at me in my eyes and said, you know what? I get it now. I get it now. I see what you've been saying. I get it. You're not wrong. And I appreciate it, Marshall.
You don't want to be right about this situation.
No.
Yeah.
I saw Alec Burleson throw the ball backwards, and what do you want me to do? I'm not one of those guys who's going to nitpick these statistics. I'm just going to call it how it is. And right now, I'm pretty disgusted. Throwing the ball backwards.
As well you should. Yeah.
Throw the ball backwards, Anthony.
I don't think he was going to get, in fairness, I don't think he was going to get him out if he threw it forward.
Well, it certainly would have created a better chance.
If you fielded it right.
Well, yeah, maybe.
Should have had some of that pelican grip on him.
He should have. Yeah, he absolutely should have.
What about 1 through 10? If we're doing a 1 through 10 scale, if we go through all 5 of these pitchers right now, where is the confidence meter there? Because I know you guys picked 3 guys, but where on that scale do you fall?
10 being the best?
Yes.
So we have to put
I would give Sonny
Gray
7.5. 8.
I'd give him 8.
You would. I'd give him 7.5.
I'm with Jamie. I'd give him 8 too.
Yeah, you would.
How about you, Marsh?
I think, 8's probably a good number. 7.5.
Great.
Somewhere, maybe like 7.6.
Yeah.
We don't want any rookie numbers here.
He's always that guy. 7.6.
7.6. Not 7.5.
7.6. Carey, you know those guys.
Which pitcher is Anthony giving a 6.9 to? That's the real question.
Oh, boy.
Probably Miles
Lance
Michaelis.
Lynn.
Whichever one he's mailing it in on.
6.9 for Lance?
That's higher than the average amount of innings that he goes.
Yeah, it's true.
It's way higher.
Probably Kyle Gibson.
Yeah, that's a good score.
Yeah.
6.9. Especially with the back injury now.
I'd give Gibby a solid 7.
Would you?
Yeah. He's a reliable guy. I mean, except for today.
I'll go Michaelis 7.3.
I don't have Michaelis as high up as I do Gibby.
No,
you take in Anthony. If we're going to take it from April, like you said, to where we are now, I have no choice but to give more to Gibby.
Listen, Michaelis also isn't hurt, so.
Oh, come on!
You're right.
7.3 for Gibby.
Yeah.
All right, are we done with this exercise? Okay, we are.
That's your show.
It's not my show. Don't you dare.
We hear what you say to other people around.
Don't you dare, Marsh.
These guys here.
Yeah, these guys. Don't tell them.
They never pay attention. They don't know what segment is coming up next. They're not ready. They're not prepared, and I got to drag them into the fight every single time. That's what he said about you, Jamie. I heard him.
I heard about it from other people.
Shame lying to you. You know how I feel about you, Jamie.
It's good leadership.
Yeah. Sports Six Pack is next. 314-399-9646 to the Air Comfort Service text line. So if you have a question for us, send it in. We'll answer it next on 101 ESPN. Happy Roof, they're fantastic. Happy Roof Company. If you have roof damage, your insurance company has paid you, but you need a roofer that is going to come in with an estimate. Great, call the Happy Roof Company. They've got free estimates with competitive pricing. Do you need help with insurance paperwork on your damaged roof? No problem. Happy Roof, they can help. They've got over 10 years, actually over 50 years combined experience in roofing, siding, and gutters. Did your insurance claim get denied, but your neighbors got new roofs except for you? Call the Happy Roof. They work well with insurance companies. Are you selling your house and you want to put on a new roof? Great. They've got great relationships with realtors as well. Happy Roof Company. Residential and commercial roofing. Superior high-end products. A-plus rating with the BBB. Up-to-date product knowledge, and they don't chase storms. 100% of their market is in St. Louis and the surrounding areas, and their headquarters are right there in Sunset Hills. Call them today. If you have an issue with your roof, they'll have somebody to look at your issue within 24 hours of when you call. 314-665-3001. No matter what the roof situation is that you're dealing with, the Happy Roof Company can help. TheHappyRoof.com.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals fell to the Miami Marlins earlier today, a 4-3 loss. The Cards dropped 2 of 3 in Miami. However, they have a chance to get back in the win column tomorrow as they take on the San Francisco Giants at Rickwood Field. You can watch the game on Fox. Start time is at 6:15. The Edmonton Oilers extended the Stanley Cup Final as they won 5-3 last night over the Florida Panthers. The series is 3-2 in favor of the Florida Panthers. We'll have Game 6 for you on Friday. Pre-game starts at 6:30. We have our Sports Six-Pack coming up next, so if you have a question you want to send our way, do so using the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. Sports Six-Pack coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at Londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
With Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. Here's Andrew Marsh with your questions via the Air Comfort Service text line at 314-399-9646. Marsh, go.
Question number 1.
From the 636, this is going to sound bad. You are in the fast lane, so I think you're fine. But do you think that this injury for Nolan Arenado will provide the break that he needs to settle down and get his head straight?
Well, let's hope it's not a break.
Yeah, it's a pretty tough choice of words there, Andrew.
Yeah, let's hope it's not a break.
Yeah.
See
what you did there?
I'm just reading the text.
But I'm just saying for the text, we hope it's not a break. Broken bone of some sort.
Broken elbow. Ouch.
It's not good.
For those that don't know, Nolan Arenado left today's game after getting hit in the elbow. He's hopeful that he'll be able to return to action on Saturday. That means he won't play tomorrow night in Birmingham. So Saturday will be his first opportunity potentially to come back. If he's back on Saturday, no, it's not.
It's not a bad.
It's not going to matter.
The Cardinals did nothing about it, by the way.
What do you mean?
Oh, like hitting somebody else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I told you in the office.
Game.
I don't care, Carey. What did I say in the office?
And
what did I say?
You said someone should be upset.
I didn't say go charge the mound. I didn't say any of that. I said somebody should at least have got up out of the dugout, walked up and even just said something or make it known that what just happened is not acceptable. Nobody did anything.
Yeah.
In fairness, he was turning to try to swing at the pitch.
It doesn't matter.
And it hit his elbow.
If my teammate does something that I know is wrong and somebody goes after him, I don't care. I have his back. Even when he's wrong, he's right.
This is why you and I, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, Carey. You got one of your best players, or what's supposed to be, gets hit in the elbow. It was a pitch inside. Whether he meant it or not.
Jamie.
What?
Wilson Contreras broke his forearm, not his elbow.
He said best player.
I said was.
Oh, yeah.
He missed that part.
Years ago, you're talking about.
A couple of years ago. Yeah. But either way, you have to show a little bit of respect for your teammate and somehow address it. Mm-hmm. Even just say something. The ump's not going to throw you out. Although if you say something, the bullpen's might empty. Here they come to do nothing. Anyways.
Well, unless you got a runner on, right?
Unless you have a runner on, then it's a different story.
They had a runner on, and
did he score?
No, he didn't. No, he actually got thrown out at second.
Yeah.
Oh, he did, trying to steal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Great.
Nolan Arenado has got a 96 WRC plus. Paul Goldschmidt, 93 WRC plus. Matt Carpenter, 82. Michael Ciani, 61. Pedro Pajes, despite the productive weekend at Wrigley, 43 WRC plus, and Dylan Carlson with a 41 WRC
That's some
plus.
Good numbers.
Average is 100. Oh, yeah. So you wonder why is this team not finding more consistency? That's why.
Why do you go to the numbers?
I don't know, Jamie.
Why do you go to the numbers?
They may tell us what's actually going on. Mason Wynn, a 118 WRC plus. Lars Nootbaar, while injured, 115. Alec Burleson, a 114. Ivan Herrera, 109. Donovan, 103. And Gorman right there at average at 100. There you go.
That doesn't sound great.
No, considering the guys that normally hit in the middle of your order, Arenado and Goldschmidt, somewhere in the middle of your order, are both below average players offensively. Yeah, that's not great. And at the bottom of the order, you might as well just not bat anybody and just take the out.
What? You can't do that.
Dylan Carlson with a 41. But he had a good game last weekend.
Who else do you have?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, Carey, based on the offensive production.
They scored 8 runs yesterday.
Yesterday. How'd they do today?
He scored 3.
Against a guy that's been in the league for 43 years. He's played for 30 different teams. How'd they do?
He had a day.
He had a day. Okay. What I'm saying is, based on the offensive production that you're getting out of certain guys, you might as well take the bat up to the batter's box, lay the bat down in hopes that the pitcher will screw up and hit the bat and have the ball go into play, and then send one of these guys up. That's all I'm saying.
That's pretty awful.
Find the biggest, heaviest bat, roll it up there. Maybe the pitcher will spike one. It'll hit the bat, it'll go forward, and then you get a base runner out of it.
Oh, my goodness.
That would be more productive than some of these guys when it comes to creating runs for your team.
Tell me how you really feel.
I did.
All right, thank you.
Anthony, this is from Brooks Gate, at Brooks_Gate. How many fastballs down the middle each team has seen, and how many they did not swing at? The Cardinals are the 5th worst in Major League Baseball. 135, that is a 24.2% clip. The best team at not doing that, I guess, is the Atlanta Braves. They've done it 82 times. You have the Dodgers in that conversation, the Royals, the Rangers, the Mariners. What do those teams all have in common?
Oh, they're actual contenders?
Talent.
Oh, you said the Rangers?
I did say the Rangers.
Yeah.
They did win a World Series last year.
We'll give them
a pass.
We'll give them a pass.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Question number 2.
From the 636, is Matthew or Brady better than their dad or have the potential to be? And or regarding Nathan McKinnon, if he was in the league in the 1990s, where would he rank?
The boys, it's like Big Walt should be in the Hall of Fame. So it's pretty tough to say, are they better than their dad when this guy, he's in the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame, and he should be in the actual Hockey Hall of Fame. I imagine that would happen maybe in the next couple of years. So it's pretty tough to say, oh, by the way, your kids are better than you. They've barely scratched the surface of what they might be.
Jamie?
What?
Are the kids better?
No, they're not.
All right.
By the end of their career,
Possibly.
There you go.
I mean, I can't disrespect what Walt did in his career. I just
Understood.
can't. And based on the body work that they have so far, they're tremendous players. I love those guys like they're my own children, but they're not there yet. So, and as far as how Nathan McKinnon would have done in the 90s, he would have been a fantastic player. It would have been a little more difficult to motor around like he is out there right now, but he would have found a way. I'm not disrespecting how good and how talented he is, because I look back at guys like Pavel Bure in that era, or Sergei Fedorov, that were super fast and the rules were different. You could almost mug them, tackle them, do whatever you had to do, and those guys still scored goals and were impactful players. There's no doubt in my mind that Nathan McKinnon would have found a way to be a great player, adjusting to the rules of what was in the 90s.
Saw a documentary one time.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Where one of the central themes of the documentary was life finds a way. And believe you me, if you watch that documentary, it's true. Life does find a way.
I thought this was a different documentary that I saw where death finds a way to get you despite.
Yeah, that was a different.
Whatever you're
That's
doing.
part two.
That was different.
I got thrown off.
I like Anthony's better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in this case, I will say that the life wasn't actually human beings. It was dinosaurs. They found the way.
The dinosaurs.
They found a way to eat the human beings.
I prefer. They were hungry.
Well, of course.
It's the circle of life.
Exactly.
It is.
Well, that was a different movie. That was a different documentary.
Imagine sitting down on a toilet, and the next thing you know, you're inside the belly of a T-Rex.
I shouldn't have been sitting there.
Definitely should.
Bad left the kids.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
That's what happened.
Karma got him.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
6314 says, you guys watch a lot of documentaries.
Oh, sure we do.
highly educated group.
Are you kidding me?
Man, I mean, there's 6 of these.
The
documentaries.
they're all phenomenal.
You gotta catch
Well,
I know you didn't like the last one of the documentary, but they were all phenomenal.
The second one of the last. Anyways, it was okay. Talking cloning, Anthony. Really?
You know.
Question number 3.
I guess
It's been done.
Yeah. I guess I have nothing really to argue about because there's dinosaurs in the movie or the documentary.
Yeah.
So I guess cloning could work too.
Imagine if you could clone yourself. That'd be great.
The things you would do.
There'd be like three of Jamie. There'd be 3 of Jamie in one
Some
room.
people have thought there's 3 of me at times. I'm very efficient. I work hard.
Yep.
Question number 3.
From the 314, Anthony, you kind of answered this yesterday, but not everybody gets the chance to, of course, listen every single day. And you did a phenomenal job yesterday. I know you do a phenomenal job today. From the 314, how do you guys feel about St. Louis City trading AZ Jackson?
Well, honestly, if you're talking about a club that has struggled to win matches, and now you're trading a fan favorite and a guy that's productive.
Yeah.
You're trading somebody that has worn the St. Louis City boots well on the pitch. This is why you're at where you're at. Taking nothing away from their first season, their inaugural season. That was incredible. This fan base shows up to support this club consistently.
Some of the best.
And some of the best is right in the MLS.
They draw a lot of fans.
Yeah, they do.
But we got the draws is what's
the
confusing.
BFS is what they call them.
Oh, best fans. Is it
Best fans in
BF
soccer. BFIS.
BFIF?
That's what I said.
No. BFIF. You're made.
You're
best
right.
fans in football.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you. Please get it correct.
The Biffif, they call it.
The Biffif. So City's got the Biffif. They got them.
Terrible guy.
Biff, that's a different documentary. Guys, hold on. We don't get a lot of soccer, okay? We don't get a lot of soccer talk. I was asked this question. Let me answer it. I think it's an absolute travesty that they loaned this guy out or traded him. Or
it was necessary.
It was necessary.
It absolutely is necessary. When things are not going well for your team, a little stale, you got to shake it up, and sometimes that hurts.
Sure, but somebody else.
Who?
A different player.
Roman Berkey?
No,
of
course
things
not
up that
Berkey.
much, Anthony?
Are you kidding me?
This guy's a damn
I would never
savior.
trade Berkey.
Only reason you won last year is because of that guy.
I know. That's what I was telling you earlier.
Now
in
you
the
want to
office.
trade him.
Listen, you know what? You're right. I'm trading everybody but Berkey. Everybody's going in the transfer portal.
Everybody transfer. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's a transfer window, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Or it's a portal of some kind.
Yeah.
It's a portal into the window. That's what I said.
Doctor Strange portal.
Yeah. Which gets
Another great documentary.
It's a little crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know if I answered that question, but the bottom line is you got to stop drawing on the pitch. Drawing in the stadium is great. Drawing on the pitch, it's not great. Although if the Cardinals, if there were draws in baseball,
we'd be top tier.
Absolutely. All right. We got a couple more questions in the Sports Six Pack, so why don't we round that out? Next on 101 ESPN.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question. Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter, Andrew Marsh continuing with the Sports Six-Pack.
Question number 4.
Got a text from the 636. Your sports radio station, SC, is one of our main sports in St. Louis. You guys talk more seriously about the Battlehawks minor league team than you do about City. In fact, you talk about them sarcastically. It makes you look and sound like amateurs. Come on, your 3 major sports in this town, cover accordingly. Your thoughts?
We do. We do. We cover them accordingly. All of them. Battlehawks, by the way, professional. They get paid. So, ipso facto.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't really appreciate what you just said about our football coverage. I take offense to it, quite frankly.
Yeah, I mean, minor.
No, I take offense to it, Carey.
Okay.
I take offense to it.
Go ahead.
Carey's not coming at you.
No, I'm not coming at you.
Well, no, I'm upset now.
Don't project.
This is what happens.
We've had this talk before.
Fine, if the texter can project and I can't get all my anger out on somebody else,
Not
even though
us,
I'm upset
Anthony.
with myself.
Not us.
I take a lot of pride in my soccer coverage.
You used to have soccer notes and all sorts of stuff. I know.
You try to do something nice.
Marshy, maybe you can help me
for
with this.
soccer fan.
This text, I don't know this to be true. It says the MLS is a top 10, is tier 10 soccer, where the UFL is tier 2 football.
That's about right. Yes. If you ask,
You didn't say it.
I read it. I didn't say it. I don't know.
just confirming.
We're just wondering.
I don't watch.
I think what they're saying is this is the NFL and
the
there's
UFL.
The UFL. I mean, Canadian football, obviously the CFL.
It's a really good league.
It's a really good. So maybe it's maybe
2 or 3,
maybe UFL
depending
is
on who you
3.
ask. Yeah.
And what their texter's saying is MLS is like
Not there.
not there. Yeah.
It's just a question. I wasn't sure.
Not.
You got your.
I've asked some soccer players,
Yeah.
and they've echoed that.
Okay. Yeah.
There are 10 different soccer leagues?
Oh, there's
There's a lot more than
that.
that. I think that texture is being generous, quite frankly.
And the Bundesliga is
You got your Bundesliga. You've got your.
you got the Bundesliga B. You've got the English Premier League.
That's the top.
That's the top tier.
That's for that area. But then you also have like the Real Madrid,
La Liga.
Oh man,
Like,
that's a lot of soccer.
You got Serie A and Serie B. No. It is
I think it's
Serie A.
Bay.
It is.
Bay.
Serie B.
Yeah.
B.
A, B, C, D, E, F, A.
Ah.
H-A.
I think it's Ache.
Damn it.
I don't know. My favorite's Dublave.
Oh yes, it is. Fly in the Dublave.
Brandon says.
We don't like that team.
Brandon from the Snake Pit says you guys should have Moon in to talk a little St. Louis City soccer.
Why would
We just had Rafe in here. Are we going to invite the entire Riz show into our show?
We can just download Soccer 101 and listen.
There you go.
Marshy Stash, I think, brings up a great point. He says, Anthony, you're the best at offering vague and uninformed soccer coverage. Love it. Thank you, Marshy Stash. I appreciate that.
All right, I think we covered.
All right.
Alex as well. Hold on, we're still talking soccer here. Alex says, it's a waste of everyone's time by talking about another City SC draw. Alex, I didn't.
Why
no, you're
did
right.
You read that?
I didn't. I only read it once before I read it to everybody else.
314 says the MLS rules prevent the league from becoming competitive.
That is true.
It's the league that's holding it back.
I'll give the text. It's the league that's been holding back for 3 decades.
Carey?
I mean, if the league has been holding you back for 3 decades, you think you'd do something, right?
Hey, what question are we on?
Change it.
We can only cover so many mediocre teams in this town.
And Blues and Cardinals are at the top of the list. Damn it.
Yes.
What more do you want from us?
You wait your turn, all right?
At least the Battlehawks were a playoff team.
Yeah.
Ish.
You wait your turn, City. After we get done talking about the other mediocre city teams in this town, we'll get to you. All right, let's move on.
Question number 5.
All right, Jamie, you were a volleyball player one night. From
I played volleyball in high school, too.
Did you?
Yeah. I was an athlete, Anthony.
I know you were.
Okay, from the 618, I coach a top 3 middle school volleyball team in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Thank you for listening.
Thanks for listening.
We have a real shot at winning the school's first volleyball championship ever this year.
Nice.
What is the best piece of advice I can give these young girls?
Oh, nice.
Well, it sounds like from a volleyball standpoint, they're there. What if you coach this team, it sounds like you're doing a hell of a job coaching them. You got them to this position. Honestly, I would tell them to go into this championship and have fun. One thing about kids is they perform extremely well when they're having fun. Kids underperform when they feel stressed or that they're not meeting expectation and they get anxiety and then they make mistakes because you know why, Anthony? They're not professional athletes. So
Not like the UFL players.
That's right. So therefore, they don't know how to perform through some of the anxiety. So make it fun. Have a great time. Have a silly little chant that they do. Do something that they can feel like a group. Enjoy the moment, and I guarantee you they'll play good.
Yeah,
Well said.
I agree. Enjoy the moment and, do the things that got you there. Don't overstress. Don't worry about the outcome. Do the things that got you there. Have fun. It's a great opportunity. It's a great moment. Enjoy the ride. Like you've done all of those things that got you to this point. Keep doing it. Listen to your coaches. Listen to what you're being coached up to do, and do it to the best of your ability.
Well said.
The fast lane told me to listen to me.
Well, that was Carey, and he admitted that's why he didn't have a basketball career because he went off on that one coach.
That and I wasn't 6'4". I mean, that kind of.
You're not?
You know what screwed you? The league.
Clearly.
It's their fault.
These people. The hell needs to be 6'5" to play basketball. I mean, I had a skill set, and I was sitting there on the bench, and I'd be damned if I sit on the bench for an entire game. The hell you bring me to Memphis, Tennessee for? Could have stayed at home.
Yeah.
You kick the door in, things get changed. Played the next game. We won.
Nice. How'd you do?
Did okay. Did my job, Anthony.
Yeah, you did.
Rebounds and played great defense.
There you go. That's all you're asked to do.
Put backs when they were available.
Yeah. All right. Well, we appreciate all the texters that chimed in. We appreciate all the advice that we get here in the Fast Lane. Every single one of you. How does John Mozeliak stack up against other general managers?
Probably pretty good.
I would. Well, that's next on 101 ESPN. Some people can't handle truth. You know what I mean? They come back with the, you don't know soccer. Yeah. Got us. But yet you want us to talk about it. So what does that say about you? You're sitting there, you're listening, and you're upset because we're having fun about it, and you want us to talk about it. What does that say about you? You're ticked off. Talk about my sport. You don't know anything. What? It's like I'm going to go to Jamie. Jamie, you know nothing about roofing. Call the Happy Roof Company, by the way. Talk about roofing now.
Well, Anthony, what you have to do...
You know nothing about roofing. Like, how smart is that?
Scrape off the bad shingles first.
Okay, so maybe he knows a little something about roofing.
Okay? Before you worry about cutting out the good ones.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay?
Yeah.
And you got to make sure you remove all of the underneath of it.
Got
Get
it.
it off. Back down to the plywood, quite honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Then you cover it again.
I get it,
you
Jamie.
lay the shingles.
The Finches were a bad idea. I get it.
You're hurting the cause.
The point.
Some of them may have had salmonella.
Yeah, it was their fault.
Yeah. But seriously, why don't you guys talk about this? Same people that say you don't know anything about it. You're asking us to talk about something that you say we know nothing about. What does that say about you? How smart is that? You know nothing about soccer. Got me.
They want you to learn.
Do you want me to learn about it? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. So that what? You feel better about it?
Well, I don't know why you're pointing at me.
Not you. Sorry. You in general.
It's a little aggressive.
You in general.
Yeah.
What do you want me? I've watched games.
I've played soccer.
For every you need to talk more soccer. There's 10 people. There's 10 people that are saying I just turned off the radio. That's the reality. But you don't want to hear that.
I played indoor soccer with Neil Rackers.
Did you?
Neil's a nice guy.
Neil's my guy.
I like Neil.
ILO. Yeah, we was out there in St. Charles, adult men's league.
How'd you do?
I was only played a couple times. There's
Not
too
well.
much running.
That indoor soccer is
Indoor
tough.
soccer is fun.
It's fun. But
It is
fast.
You're always moving. Like there's no like taking a break.
I remember one time I played, and my father, he told me, hey, make sure you wear a cup out there. And I was like, I don't need to wear a cup. It's like men's league, beer league, indoor soccer. Man, I got hit right in the Liberty Bells that night. Always listen to your dad, folks.
There you go.
Have I ever told you guys about my first experience playing soccer over in Russia?
No.
So first of all, Carey, this is funny. I thought I was like going to be like partial retirement. I'm going to go and play in Russia. They're going to pay me. I'm just going to be an easy gig. First day there, they wake me up. Well, not the first day. First week there, they start waking me up at 6:30 in the morning. We'd go for a 5 kilometer, so roughly 3-mile run in the mornings.
Every day?
Every day. And
As a team?
Huh?
As a team?
Yeah, oh, yeah. And then we'd practice, and we'd have a workout. And then in the afternoon, we'd have like gym time. That was mandatory. So they'd make us play basketball or indoor soccer.
Okay.
I thought this was great. We could play basketball. We didn't play basketball. We played soccer first. I'll never forget this. And I'm out there. I'm like, I love soccer. This is fun, indoor soccer, you know. And all of a sudden, this ball went past my face at like 100 miles an hour. I was like, these sons of guns can play soccer. And they're passing, and they're like bombs being shot left and right. I'm like, I was like, I'm just going to pretend. I'm going to run around here and act busy. Because I almost died playing soccer against these guys. The ball was trapped. Like, it was nuts. So I couldn't wait. The next day we played basketball. I dominated them faces in basketball.
Yeah, you did.
It's like, where's your soccer ball now?
Nice.
But yeah, it was intense.
Soccer is fun.
It was fun.
I think that's what we all came back around, right?
Yeah.
Anthony, we got a little. We'll tie this, nice little bow, nice little Mozeliak bow here. From Marcia's burner, I heard the soccer breakdown yesterday. It sounded like you knew what you were talking about. To me, sound confident with the key words, and you can fool anyone that doesn't know anything about soccer.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 at ESPN. How does John Mozeliak stack up against other general managers? Well, Redbird Rants did a complete complete breakdown of this, and you might be surprised to know that John Mozeliak actually stacks up well if you look at the metrics that they used, which were overall winning percentage, the number of times that the team made the playoffs within that GM or the president of baseball operations tenure.
Yep.
How many World Series appearances, how many World Series victories. So here's Mo, total years, 16 years here. He's got over a 500 winning percentage at 547. Division titles 6, playoff appearances 10, league pennants 2, and then the 1 World Series title in 2011. If you look at Brian Cashman, for example, Cashman, 26 years for the Yankees, 585 winning percentage, division titles 14, playoff appearances 21, league pennants 6, World Series titles 4. So he would, there's a lot more there with Cashman, but he's also been
Longer
the
period of time,
GM
too.
for the Yankees a lot longer. Rizzo for the Nationals, he actually has just slightly under 500 winning percentage at 15 years. He's got 4 division titles, 5 playoff appearances, 1 league pennant, 1 World Series title. And it goes on and on from there. Those are the guys that kind of match up within the framework of Mo. So, Jamie, you wanted to talk about this because when you kind of went through this, and Redbird Rants did a nice job breaking it all down.
Yeah, they did a great job.
You take a step back over the entire tenure for Mo, it's been pretty good.
Nobody wants to hear that, Anthony.
They don't, because, and as Redbird Rants kind of breaks it down, a lot of the success came early on in his tenure. It's gotten worse. Outside of the 19 run, it's gotten worse.
Well, Anthony.
And the trades have gotten slightly worse.
Somebody in this studio once said, you got to take the entire body of work.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who that was.
That was Marsh.
No, it was you.
Oh.
And if you're going to take the entire body of work, then you have to do that. And you have to evaluate where he ranks as far as the way he's had winning teams or winning seasons. Now, I know here in Cardinal Nation, nobody's happy with where the team is right now. And John Mozeliak is the top dog who has got this team to this spot. Now, I would also add to that the players have underperformed or haven't been able to stay as healthy as they need to be so that John Mozeliak's vision of a team can actually be seen for an extended period of time, because we haven't seen that this year. He hasn't had a healthy roster from day one. So it's hard to say, oh, his vision sucks or he doesn't know what he's talking about. When Steven Matz, maybe that vision of bringing him here was the wrong one. But when Steven Matz is on, like we've seen him pitch very well, but he just gets hurt. So that part of it, John Mozeliak is responsible for, I guess, bringing in a player. But how do you don't have the ability, you said it before, you laughed jokingly in our text chat about Ollie. How does he not know the future? Mm-hmm. John Mozeliak doesn't know the future of where these guys are going to get hurt or how long it's going to be.
Right.
All he can do is look at the numbers or the player or watch the video or scout the individual and imagine what his team could look like with a healthy, performing player in that role. Because that's what you have to do. You can't go into these things assuming, well, he's going to underperform and he'll be injured. But it doesn't say that because he hasn't really had injuries before, or he's played very well before. So you just don't know. So when you take all of that into consideration, his tenure overall has been above average. Some of the best, quite honestly, compared to the other guys who've had an extended period of time in their roles. This version, though, to me, it's like to be determined. If, that's a big word, if he can get everybody healthy back on the field, then maybe his vision looks better than what we think it is. But right now, it's tough to imagine that.
I think we often talk about, Mozeliak not getting the job done in terms of, free agency or signing the right guys or bringing in, guys that are injured and not playing well. I think Mo does the best that he can do with what he is allowed to do. And I've said that time and time again. I think the difference between Mo and Army is you don't get that clear and concise answer from John Mozeliak as you do from Army. And that's probably part of the problem. But if I have a boss that tells me I can only spend X amount of dollars, where do you want me to go? We talk about bargain bin shopping all the time, but if your wife tells you to go get these items from the grocery store and you spend this, we're budgeting, don't spend this.
Yeah.
Then what do you want me to do? I have to get the off-brand products because I can't pay for the name brand things. And so I think we often get mad at Mo for not spending, but it ain't his damn money.
Right.
And I think that's the important thing to remember. It's not his money. So the anger should be at the people that are not spending the money. And you got to do what you got to do and get who you can get.
Can I do the grocery store analogy?
Please
though? Can I build off of it?
I tried to go your grocery store route.
I always enjoy that, as you know.
You want to go shopping for groceries, but you don't have the money to get the groceries that you want.
Jamie's always said the two things I appreciate most: one, soccer; two, the grocery store analogy.
He loves it. He does.
It's a highlight.
In that, absolutely. In that analogy, I don't blame Mo for setting the budget. I do blame Mo for getting one too many bad bananas and bringing those home and saying, here you go.
You can eat bananas even when they have brown spots on them, Anthony.
I realize that, Carey.
You don't have to throw them away. You can make banana pudding once they get too brown because they're much sweeter. Like
where's the banana pudding?
In the refrigerator, you can use it and eat it later. Like, there is still use for those brown bananas. Do not throw them away. Like, you can make things happen.
Yeah.
You sure can, Carey.
Yeah.
Mo sometimes will bring them, here's the groceries, and you're like, oh, you did pretty good. You got some mix of off-brand stuff, some, brand name stuff. What happened to this bread? It's moldy.
You cut around the mold.
Don't you get tired of doing that?
You got to do what you got to do.
Don't you get tired of doing that,
You
though?
cut off that part that's blue, and it's still edible. Trust me.
Is it?
It is.
Nah, you don't know that.
I'm telling you it is.
Yesterday,
flagged.
I gave Killian some toast. So here you go, buddy. Flipped it over. He goes, why is it blue?
And you said, eat it anyway, son.
I go, it's going to make you tougher, son. Eat it. No. All right. Yeah, I think Mo's done a fine job. He's done a fine job, Jamie. You're right. Whole body of work, pretty good. Last, 3 or 4 years, he's done fine.
Moldy bread.
Moldy bread, exactly. Yeah. And I don't think he's cut around it enough. Is there a new storyline?
He's got corners, all right.
Is there a new storyline being created in the Stanley Cup Final? This next on 101 ESPN. When it comes to Mosby Building Arts, if you need a new door, interior, exterior, garage door, they got you covered. Mosby Building Arts, they have their Doors Now, Pay Later promotion going on. That's 5% off new doors. Again, interior, exterior, garage doors, or no payments for 1 year. But you got to call between now and June 30th. Again, now and June 30th, 314-909-1800. But when you're working with Mosby Building Arts, they will have somebody come in, design the look and feel that you want within your home. So if you're looking at exterior doors, maybe you're looking at a front door. Front doors that can be made from a variety of materials: wood, fiberglass, steel, aluminum. Each material offers different advantages in terms of durability and insulation, as well as aesthetics. You want to make sure that if you get a front door, it's properly fitted right to make sure that cold air is not leaking in during the winter. The warm air is leaking out during the summertime or the wintertime. When it comes to Mosby Building Arts, they've got a phenomenal team. They'll come in, they'll start your project with all the materials already there. They've got their own contractors that work on things. So whether, again, you're looking at exterior doors, interior, garage door, upgrade the look of your garage door with Mosby Building Arts, but do so between now and June 30th. Just give them a call. You don't have to have everything done by June 30th, but if you give them a call, you could take advantage of their Doors Now, Pay Later promotion. 5% off or no payments for 1 full year on your brand new doors. Mosby Building Arts, the right remodeling company. 101 ESPN. 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 101 ESP
Puck lofted the other way, and it's a foot race into the Florida zone. Warren Fogle wins it. Tries to brush it back and does get it to McDavid. Bottom of the left circle, takes a bad angle shot and scored. Oh, McDavid from the bottom of the circle put it right through Bobrovsky. 3-0 Edmonton. 20 seconds left in the penalty to Oposo as the Oilers rev it up from back in their own zone. McDavid, a little tired. He's been out there the whole power play. Carries through the middle, dances through the defense, makes a pass across, and Corey Perry scores. What a play by Connor McDavid. 4-1 Edmonton.
Sports USA on the call last night as Edmonton beats the Florida Panthers, forces a Game 7. And now, guys, if we're looking at, we were talking about storylines, especially in a series. Is there a new storyline being created right now in the Stanley Cup Final? And what is it? So is there a new storyline being created? Or what is the new storyline right now in the Stanley Cup Final? Because before it was Panthers in 3. Like, how badly are the Panthers going to whoop the Oilers?
I still feel like ultimately they win this series. But I do think the storyline, if you're going to put one up on the marquee, is the goaltending battle.
I think that's a storyline?
Oh, I do.
The main storyline?
Right now, I do. I mean, well, okay. Sorry. Let me go back. The main storyline, McJesus. There you go. That's the main storyline for the entire time. What's your damn storyline? Go ahead.
The goaltenders?
Soccer guy. Enlighten me.
The goaltenders.
Enlighten the hockey guy.
No. It's whatever you think it is.
I'm not asking you for the X's and O's of the series. I'm talking about the storyline.
The storyline is Bobrovsky has not been great, and Stuart Skinner has elevated his game.
No, the storyline is Connor McJesus dragging the Oilers back in this thing. I
just said that.
Are you trying to sell newspapers or not?
No.
And by the newspapers, I mean online coverage,
This
of course.
segment brought to you by Captain Obvious.
So the question, I think...
Jamie, I'll fight you. I'll lose, but I'll fight you.
Anthony, just stop.
Could the story be... Again, Connor McDavid, but what we talked about, you thought the Florida Panthers were the better team and still think that because of they're an overall team. But my question going into the series was, can a star player, a superstar player like Connor McDavid really change the series? And it feels like that's the shift that has happened. He's been scoring points. He's been playing outstanding. And really, as Anthony said, dragging his team into the fight and bringing them back to have a chance to go back home and tie this series and potentially force a Game 7.
Where was he in the first 3 games? Because
they were getting beat up.
Yep, but I'm just saying. So if Connor McDavid, we talk about dragging his team back in the series, he's drug his team back for a game and a half. The second half of last night's game, again, the Panthers did a great job of keeping him at bay. In the first 3 games, they kept Leon Draisaitl to where he was on milk cartons in Edmonton. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, the same thing. Zach Hyman, all these guys. Even Connor McDavid, I think what did he have, 1 or 2 assists up to that point. So as much as he's a difference maker, I believe a star like that can impact games, not the series, when it comes to playing against a team as deep as the Florida Panthers are. So, yes, he's impacted Game 4 for sure. And he impacted last night's game as well. But the second half of last night's game looked a lot more like one of the first 3 games of the series.
So why did the Panthers kind of get away from what they were doing for that game and a half?
Well, it's not that they purposely got away from it. The Edmonton Oilers are a really talented group of players, and they play with a tremendous amount of speed and skill. And if you're not diligent to playing your role defensively, then the game opens up. And the one thing you hate the most is falling behind.
Right.
And not by a goal, but by 2 goals, let alone 3. When that happens, you have to take chances now. You have to open it up. You have to try to create offense that maybe isn't there. And when that happens, there's turnovers. And when the turnovers happen in that situation, you have players that are out of position because they're pressing.
Right.
And so that plays right into the Oilers' hands. That is like giving them the cheat code because now it's off to the races. McDavid, Draisaitl, Nugent-Hopkins, you just name it. They're going. They're go. And at that point, it's like drinking from a fire hose if you're the Panthers. You can't seem to find the valve to shut it off.
Right.
And credit to them, halfway through last night's game, even a little bit before that, they found a way to turn it down a little bit. And it changed things. In the back half of that game, Florida was the team that was pressing. They were the team that were pushing. They were the team that were making the biggest difference. They ran out of time. Mm-hmm. So I think that as great as Connor McDavid is, and it's historical, the playoff that he's having right now, I think the Panthers figured out again how they have to play in order to be successful. And I do think they'll impose that in the next game.
I think there's a few different storylines. One could be how I have singly helped the Oilers get back in the series by continuing to take that Sergei Bobrovsky bet and bet the board.
Yeah,
no
can
kidding.
You not do that again,
I'm definitely going to do it. I won Game 7.
Marsh, really?
I'm going to do it again. It's either going to hit or we're going to get a Game 7. So
that's kind of the only.
It could
not happen.
And
yeah,
you still get
that's
not
true.
get a Game 7.
I don't know. Odds are kind of.
I'm 2-0 or I guess 0-2. But I think it really comes down to the biggest storyline for me is, can Connor McDavid cement his legacy in the NHL by coming back 3-0 in what probably is. I don't want to say it's going to be his only shot at winning a Stanley Cup, but as of up to this point, it could be. It could be.
With this team, it'll be his only chance.
Yes. So, and we've talked about that a couple times, as the series progresses. But, I mean, down 3-0, the best player in the world, a chance to bring the Stanley Cup back to Canada in, 30 years? It's a huge storyline. This guy has the opportunity to put his Liberty Bells on the line and go do something that we don't see too often. We don't see 3-0 comebacks all too often. We definitely don't see those happening in the Stanley Cup Final or in any championship series.
Yeah. I also, too, I mean, let's be real. This is great for the NHL. The NBA just had an absolute dud of an NBA Finals, and I'm not taking anything like that. Let's not get offended here. Let's not start crying. I'm not saying it was bad because of Jason Tatum.
It was a bad Finals.
It was a bad Finals. I love that Jason Tatum. Yeah, but you say I say that, and then there's some people get upset.
Boston won.
Jason Tatum was. I'm thrilled for the local kid. Okay, it was a bad NBA Finals. If you're a casual fan and you're shifting gears, you now have a series in this NHL final, Stanley Cup Final. The best skilled hockey player on earth, and a Panthers team that when they're playing at their best, they're fun to watch because they're different stylistically. So the NHL needs this too. Now, if it gets to a Game 7, great. If not, even so, you still get 2 more games where casual fans get the eyeballs on. So I think that's great for the NHL. That's a small storyline as well. I think the biggest storyline, though, is the goaltenders. We got biggest question today.
Son of a... Get going with the question.
Biggest question of the day next on 101 ESPN. Love you, Jamie.
Hey, it's Carey, and let me tell you about Window Nation's semi-annual sale. They are allowing you to get 50% off of all windows now through June 30th. That's 50% off of all window styles and 0% interest for that time. You can reach out to them at 866-90Nation if your windows are sticky, if they are not opening, hard to open, they're hot to the touch. You need to get new windows. And if you want to keep that cool air in and not pay the high utility bills for your air conditioning, then you need to reach out to them, get a free no obligation quote today. 96% of those windows that they install are satisfactory and they don't require any follow-up service. They can install that window in one day, and the Window Nation windows come with a lifetime warranty. All they do is windows. They've installed over 200,000 windows in the last year, 96% of them requiring no follow-up service. So reach out to them today, 866-90Nation, or go online at windownation.com. Again, the semi-annual sale is now through June 30th. Get that window. Get your windows installed. 50% off of all windows, 0% interest for 5 years. 866-90Nation or windownation.com.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals fell to the Miami Marlins earlier today, 4-3 the final. They dropped that series 2 games out of 3. They'll take on the San Francisco Giants tomorrow at Rickwood Field. You can catch the game on Fox. First pitch is at 6:15. We talked earlier today with Brad Thompson. If you missed that interview, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page. You'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We just got done talking about the Stanley Cup Final. The Oilers defeated the Panthers last night, 5-3. The Panthers still 1 win away from hoisting Lord Stanley. They'll have another opportunity on Friday, and we'll have that game for you right here on 101 ESPN with the pregame starting at 6:30. We have our biggest question of the day coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's time for the Fast Lane's biggest question of the day.
With Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. Here's Andrew Marsh with the biggest question of the day.
All right, so I asked you guys this question in the office earlier today. Carey, you had a great response to it, so maybe we can just reiterate what you said. But the question I had is, why do we idolize players in sports who may not necessarily fit the prototypical definition of what a player looks like in that respective sport? So you look at a guy like Patrick Mahomes. He's a fantastic quarterback. He's the best in the league, but he doesn't, to me, when I think of him, I don't think football player, right? Like a guy like James Harrison, I think that guy's a football player. Even we were talking about Connor McDavid. Like Connor McDavid is the best player in the world, but I look at a guy like Matthew Tkachuk. Matthew Tkachuk is a hockey player, right? Not that Connor McDavid isn't, but why do you think that is? Maybe other people feel the same way. Maybe they don't. Leave us the text at the Air Comfort Service text line.
Yeah, I told you earlier, it's because guys that are so elite at their skill set, it's hard to fathom being able to do what that person can do. And you look at a play like what Matthew Tkachuk did last night, where he's hauling ass trying to get that puck, keep that puck from going in the net. You feel like I can give that type of effort. Those types of things you feel like the average man can do because it's about effort. Now, the skill set is still high, but when you look at Connor McDavid and you say, oh, that guy is different. That's a different level. You know, you look at a guy like basketball players, some basketball players, like that skill set is so elite, I'm unable to do that. But you can relate to a guy that can. That's why Steph Curry is so loved right now, because people can shoot threes. Now, maybe not from that depth that he shoots it from, but most people can't jump out the gym like LeBron James. Like, it's a different level of elite athlete versus I can do that. And I think people relate more to the people that they can see themselves being or doing the things that they do.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty accurate. You know, like when you're looking at some of the greatest players in their respective sports, they do things that are just, I don't know. It's almost like an illusion. And you don't, it's like, how on earth did that happen? And although you're a fan of what's going on, like Carey said, it's almost like you're watching a movie, like a superhero.
Yeah.
To where you're like, yeah, it's great, but it's a movie, you know?
Who can do that?
It's a superhero. Yeah. I mean, of course he can fly.
Right.
It's Superman.
Yeah.
So when you look at Connor McDavid or Patrick Mahomes or Michael Jordan, just like I said, pick your guy. It's easier to relate to the blue collar type player. And look at Matthew Tkachuk is, scored over 100 points. He's not a blue collar type player. He's not a third, fourth liner, but he does all the little things. He blocks shots, he hits, he fights. You're like, yeah, I can do that. I don't have to be very good to do that. You know, then he makes plays where you're like, oh boy, like last night's goal where he comes in with no room at all and roofs it bar down, just like nothing. You're like, okay, that's really impressive. But I identify with this guy because, he's out there mucking and grinding, punching Connor McJesus in the face and doing things like that. So, I'd say there's a lot of validity to what you're saying, is that someone who you can picture yourself being is more relatable or easier to cheer for than the guy that's the superhero in the movie.
I think that's why people loved Allen Iverson so much. He's 6'1" point guard. He's not 7. He's not Yao. He's not Shaq. Like, you can't imagine yourself in people that are that large. You're like, hey, I'll never be Shaq. He's 7'2", 300 pounds. I can't do that. But AI,
he was a superhero.
He was a superhero. He got the tattoo. He's a Superman. Like, you can see yourself in other people, so it makes them more relatable, and that's why you look at them and say, I could actually do that. Or you can't do it, but you think you can.
It's interesting to hear you guys say that, because this is my take on why a lot of people criticize managers as much as they do. I think they play along this is what I would have done.
Correct.
And so there's a lot of criticism with the manager, even though over the 162-game season, the most important thing that a manager does is actually manage the club, not make the bullpen decisions, not make the lineups. All of that actually comes out in the wash. Like, you can't have the even if you were to say this would have been your perfect lineup based on what happened, right? It still comes out in the wash. You're not. The perfect lineup doesn't sway you like 50 wins compared to 50 losses. as much as we think it does. It's managing a club, but we don't view it that way. A lot of fans put themselves in that managerial role. This is what I would have done with this bullpen. I wouldn't have done. Look, we play a lineup game every day, and then we have this. Geez, that wasn't great. I would have had this guy. We're trying to be the manager every day.
Yeah,
that's our job.
Exactly. Same thing with offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. I wouldn't have called that play. I wouldn't have, because we can envision ourselves in that spot. So I think this plays well into what you're saying. Now, if you just say the athlete, right? Let's just take the athlete. You guys are right. That's the type of athlete I would be. I would be more of the X, Y, and Z as opposed to the hockey equivalent of Jesus.
I do find it interesting because let's look at baseball for a second. Like you have like a 5-tool player that maybe, I won't even say 5-tool, but let's use like Brendan Donovan for an example. Like I would love to be a Brendan Donovan who just seems to be good at everything. Now he doesn't have the power that other players have, but he's a solid baseball player.
Because most of us can't be Bo Jackson running up a damn
That's
wall.
the thing. But I would
talk for yourself.
Would you rather your kid be like Brendan Donovan or the guy who hits 30 home runs but strikes out 200 times?
I want my kid to hit the home runs. So
you can get paid a whole lot of money.
Yeah,
I can pay a whole lot of money.
Are you kidding? Are you saying?
I get that.
Marsh, are you saying Killian can have Bo Jackson-esque qualities? Because if so, great. Link it to you, right? That's fantastic. Yeah, sure.
You're a coach.
You are.
In multiple sports, too.
Very, very true. Yeah, very true. I was actually, all kidding aside, I was actually asked to coach soccer the other day. I was. Serious.
Well, they've heard you on the air.
Yeah.
You know what you're talking about.
Anthony, I coached soccer.
I'm sure you did very well.
We won the league championship.
I believe that.
It happened.
I would recruit you as my assistant if I were to ever do so.
Thank you.
By the way,
I also have to understand the positions first, too.
Yeah, it takes a little, but you get there. They have great books these days.
Do they?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What if you can't read well?
They have Audible books.
What if you can't read good?
We got a text from the 314. It's a picture. It says, I just Googled Anthony Stalter ESPN, and this is what I got. Typed in Anthony Stalter ESPN. First thing that pops up is a picture of Jamie Rivers.
You're welcome.
That's me, Jamie Rivers.
That's hilarious. I wonder why that happened.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, because we've been radio partners.
We have been.
For a long time.
Yeah.
Give it a couple of years, and it'll be a picture of you and Carey when you Google me.
Anthony, I did really enjoy your color commentary on the Blues broadcast this season.
Yeah, thanks, Marsh. I really take a lot of pride in that.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
It is.
That picture
Anthony
of me
Stalter
is
ESPN.
actually like a couple of years ago. That's in the playoffs. Like
Playoffs?
Big ass beard.
So you Google me.
And you got a picture of
you
me.
got a picture of Jamie.
At the desk.
From years ago.
Yep. Wow.
Yeah, good. All right, nice. All right. It's the fast lane.
On your Wikipedia and update that, Anthony.
I don't even have a Wikipedia.
Look into one.
Okay. I think I'm good. It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Bet the board and 3 stars of the day are next.
Anthony, all men go through changes in life, and some of them are positive and some of them are a little more difficult. And when our testosterone starts to lower over the course of time, that's difficult. Hey, you're not the way you used to be. That's why I dropped into Mentality, talked to their board-certified physicians, and then did a full blood panel and figured out exactly what I needed to feel like I used to. And now I'm on the program at Mentality, and I couldn't imagine doing everyday life as many things as I do without being back to what I used to be before. It's nothing special, just getting you back to where you were before.
It's hard to explain sometimes. We do these spots and we're like, yeah, it works. But when you actually feel it, and it's at the, let's just say it's a Saturday, right? And you're busy, you're doing a bunch of stuff. Maybe you're running a camp, maybe you're doing stuff with the kids, whatever. For me, kids, coaching, doing the lawn, all that stuff. But I still feel great on a Saturday night. I'm like, yeah, man, I could keep going here. We get the kids down, maybe another project started. That's what mentality does, right? You feel great. You feel like you've got way more. You feel like your ability is through the roof, and it's all safe, and it's all, a lot of insurance companies cover the program as well. But they constantly monitor your health status to make sure that nothing else is going on and that the program is still working for you. Mentality, 2 locations, one in Chesterfield, one in South County. When you do head in, tell them Jamie and Anthony sent you, and you can check them out online as well, lowtusa.com. It's Mentality. If you missed anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast, available at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 ESPN mobile app. It's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter. Time to bet the board. Marsh, what do we got for standings?
All right, so Anthony, it looks like you and Jamie and myself lost last night. So Jamie has lost 3 in a row. Carey picked up a win, though, thanks to the New York Yankees.
Yeah. Don't you make that face.
Hell, what's wrong with you? Jamie is still in the lead. How much time you got? 9-3 for Jamie. Anthony, you're 7-5. Carey is 5-6-1, and I am 5-7.
So work to do.
We'll go Jamie, Stalter, Carey, and then me.
Tanisha, by the way, in the snake pitch, she said, awesome show today, fellas. Always enjoy when Scary Carey and Ranthony pops in. I appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful evening. We appreciate you, Tanisha. Seriously, thank you. Thank you for listening. Thanks for watching in the snake pit. All right, so, Jamie, let's get it on.
Yep. Gladly. New York Yankees playing the Baltimore Orioles.
What are you doing? What are you doing here?
The Baltimore Orioles are plus 126. They can really bop. But Garrett Cole's on the bump. Go with the Yankees at minus 148.
Oh, damn it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Garrett Cole making his season debut.
He's going to be great.
I hope. Brandon goes, can we get a Raging Rivers real quick?
I got nothing I'm mad at right now.
All right, I'm going to take the Mets minus 112 against the Rangers. They are 3-7. The Rangers are over their last 10 games. Mets 8-2. Man, they're playing well.
Yeah, they are.
I shouldn't have said anything. I knew.
What?
Hey, Jamie Rivers. I don't even have a pick. You know,
you didn't say anything wrong. I just
give me
looked.
the White Sox. Garrett Crochet is on the mound. Give me the Astros. Yeah, -1. No, yeah.
I almost went with that game.
You should have.
Nah.
So,
not with Crochet on the bump.
you know what? I'll take the Kansas City Royals -1.5.
I took them last night.
They go
Not well. It did not go well. I took him because of Marsh. Marsh's brother was pitching for him.
-1.
He got lit up.
-1.5. What are you looking at?
-1.5.
-1.5.
So they got to win by 2.
They got to win by 2. I can't take them. They -180.
All right.
On the money. Well, I'm scrambling here because you took my
checking
pick.
you, okay? Not that you'd lie,
Yeah, I wouldn't
but
lie.
you'd compete.
I would compete.
We'll call it different.
And if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. So you better check it.
Just making sure.
All right, Marsh, what are you taking?
I am taking Caitlin Clark. Over 5.5 rebounds tonight against the Washington Mystics. Last time she played Washington, she had 8 rebounds.
Okay.
And
Good
30
her go.
points that game. So I'm going to dip into the WNBA tonight.
Okay, good. I hope you do well.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. No, I don't. I'm actually a competitor.
We're trying to
I hope
catch
you all
up.
lose.
Absolutely wants us
If you
all
all
to
can,
lose.
can repeat last night's performance, I'd be greatly appreciated.
No.
Yeah, should.
Can't do that.
All right, Marsh, what do we got for criticisms and compliments?
Let's start off with the 314. A little fun fact here. The Rockies have a dinosaur mascot because dinosaur bones were found during the construction of Coors Field in 1993.
I like
because
that
dinosaurs were in Denver.
I never
like
said they
Denver
were.
the dinosaur.
I'm just saying they're everywhere. They were found everywhere.
Nope, you said he didn't. No, actually, you said
They found them in
there.
Utah. That's why they call it the Utah
Because
Raptors.
you
What did I
said
say?
they weren't in Denver.
I didn't say that.
You did.
I didn't
Said
say,
they
I said
probably
you
weren't.
don't know.
And
I said,
now we do
no,
know.
he was like, they probably were. I said, but you don't know.
But
I don't know.
We know now.
Oh, now you're vindicated.
Now we know.
We had the question earlier, speaking of dinosaurs, which are more dangerous, dinosaurs themselves or the giant locust? From the 314, okay, this is a no-brainer. Dinosaurs are cold-blooded. You just have to live in a climate where there's a winter time and you'll be just fine. Locusts, however, hibernate during the winter, wait till growing season come out, eat all your food, and then you die real fast.
You know, this person has obviously seen these documentaries, and they know what they're talking about. So, well done, well said. I agree.
From the 314, I thought for sure he was reading out of Wikipedia, a Fastlane masterclass in BSing. Thank you, Anthony.
What?
Talking about crustacean period.
Oh. Is that what that is?
The Cretaceous period.
What
Yeah.
did I say, crustacean? Are those different?
They are, yeah.
They are?
Yeah, yeah.
Those are the things that you put on your salad?
No, those are croutons.
That's right.
Crustaceans found in the ocean, typically. You know? Cretaceous period, though, is different, yeah.
By the
Got the Triassic, the Jurassic, and the Cretaceous.
I was joking, by the way. I know there's probably some people out there that might actually think that I think that there's crustaceans on your salad.
The only reason
you could have them on your salad.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
could
advise
yeah.
it.
The only reason why they think that, Marsh, is because they listen to this show regularly.
True.
It's a shot at all of us.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it really is. From the 314, Anthony, you say it how it is. Love it. Preaching to the crowd.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Keep doing your job. Doing well.
I thought you just came to do your job.
Yeah. Just do your job
Just
for
do your
once.
job.
For once.
I say thank you. Just do your job.
Yeah.
From the 636, these boys know more about culinary than soccer.
No doubt, yeah. Here's a real question. What do we know less about than soccer? Like, as a group, collectively, what do we know less of?
Like everything in life?
Yeah.
Oh, there's something.
I don't know.
Like, okay, like
brain surgery. Like, come on.
the
I think
ocean.
we do okay.
The ocean. I mean, I do actually know things about brain because of the CTE.
You talking about the motion of the ocean, Carey?
Oh, no, not the motion in the ocean. That's on a boat usually.
Yeah,
Just
it
talk
doesn't
about
matter how big your boat is, as long as you understand the motion of the ocean.
Some people would disagree.
Yeah.
Some people.
I know. We know a fair amount
You
of
know,
the
let's go
ocean.
buy a bigger boat.
Yeah. They did that. They should have done that in the documentary Jaws.
There's also another documentary of this clownfish that actually traveled a long way.
Yeah.
Got stolen actually by human.
That's a sad story. It's a little handicapped
It's
fish,
a
too.
really sad story. A real sad story.
He says, try it.
Yeah.
Couldn't get there, you know?
It's a story. The documentary is about determination, though. And never giving up.
Never giving up.
Yep.
It really is an inspirational story.
To us all.
Well, cricket, we don't know much about cricket, do we?
I may know more about
all over the place.
I
Cricket
know a
than
little
soccer.
about cricket, but
I know
not
them all the
about
time in my backyard.
Yeah.
Not
Oh,
those,
no,
not,
that's
not
different.
Those crickets.
Yeah, that's an insect. Gotcha. This
Or a
is
cell
different.
phone.
Yeah.
That
Or a
Kyle
cell phone.
had to trade in earlier.
He did. But yeah, cricket is a sport that's fascinating. It does take a lot of skill to be able to hit that ball when they throw it and bounce it. But they can hit it anywhere, which is always confusing to me. Like you could foul off a ball behind you, and then you take off running, and you touch the line and touch the line until they get the ball in, try to throw you out and knock the wicket off.
Yep.
Like it's.
What Jamie just said is already more than what we know about.
Can you
soccer.
throw the ball backwards too?
I don't know.
No.
That was in the
What? I mean,
Marlins game in Miami. And
You could. It won't benefit you in any way at all.
You know, curling is an interesting sport too. I actually wanted to try to
Curling's
make
like
the curling
bocce
team.
ball on ice.
Yeah, I wanna try it. I want to see if I can make an Olympic team.
I think you would.
Curling?
I think
It's
you'd do
harder than
great.
you think.
I don't need
Those
skates.
rocks too are heavy.
That's fine.
And the first time you throw
strong?
it, no, that's the problem. First time you throw it, you're gonna be like, and it flies down the
You
ice.
gotta have
And you're
some touch.
You gotta have a little touch of the surgeon.
Okay.
Nice, curl it in there, draw it in, Anthony.
Yeah, I can do that.
Right
I
to the
could-
button.
I could do that.
That's what they call it, Carey. Right in the
Marshy,
middle.
With the
Yes.
motion.
go for it.
Yeah. That's keeping
3
you
stars of the
balanced.
day? Yeah, third star of the day goes to Scary Carey Davis.
Nice.
Second star of the day goes to Dinger, the Colorado Rockies mascot.
Sure.
Providing good dinosaur talk. And our first star of the day goes to Anthony's soccer knowledge.
Thank you. Yeah, appreciate that as always. Thanks, guys. Yeah.
Anthony.
Appreciate everybody. Yep. All right, that'll do it for us. We got a little instant replay coming up next for you. For Andrew Marsh, for Carey Davis, for Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. We appreciate everybody listening and tuned in throughout the course of the day today, and of course in the Snake Pit. See ya.